Our series begins in the great magic kingdom of Dolu, where a legendary and magnificent tournament is held in which the masters of the soul and the strongest fighters and the elite gather in a mighty and legendary battle, all to determine which team will graduate from the Magic Academy. On this day, the long-awaited Academy tournament begins and the two most powerful teams will face each other and shake the world. One team participates led by our hero San and enters with full confidence and power, clearly intending to take the championship with full merit. But they do not know what awaits them, especially since they are up against the strongest team in the Soul Academy. The two teams reach the arena, and a powerful battle between them will determine who graduates and who stays. At the same time, the Academy principal, Lady Dong, is with the rest of the teachers watching the historic tournament that is about to begin and shake the world. And she has also prepared a magnificent prize for the winning team consisting of rare soul bones that everyone wishes to possess for their lethal power. Before the referee announces the start of the tournament, do not forget your lovely like and subscribe if you are new. And it would be amazing if this video reaches 50,000 likes. That would be something no one has done before. We continue the story as the referee announces the start of the tournament. Our heroes team begins preparing and displaying the power of each of the 7 team members. The Soul Academy team also prepares under the leadership of the beautiful girl Helena, whose abilities and those of her team are clearly formidable and powerful. Even our team's coach keeps his eye on them because of Helena's magical power, since the soul force she possesses can bring anyone down and manipulate them to the point of making them lose consciousness. At that moment, we learn her power is similar to our hero San's power. San starts suggesting they not allow her magic to affect them, and the only solution is to shut down their senses. They immediately listen and do so, and the attack finally begins. A girl named Wu runs and attacks with her soul power, and from the very start affects the soul team and scatters them. She seems cute but faces Helena's formidable power. The two stand against each other with their terrifying magical abilities to the point that even the teachers themselves are amazed at the greatness of what is happening. The two are equally matched, meaning whichever one has the stronger soul power will advance in the tournament. At that moment, someone intervenes knowing their powers will not be enough and pulls Wu away because in that state she might get hurt. The whole team starts attacking, and first among them is Huang, who flies high with the power of the Fire Eagle, spreading his legendary wings and attacking with deadly fireballs. Yes, do not be surprised. This series is deadly science fiction. The Soul team gets scared and scatters, but Helena immediately prepares her devilish trap and calls on her spirit, and the two clearly intend to unite and shake the world. They immediately form a powerful and specialized demon, and suddenly the clouds fill with red fog that reduces the power and senses of anyone who enters it. The team gathers to deal with it and protect themselves from this disaster, but Helena does not give them a chance and keeps attacking, sending sharp and deadly weapons. But San is clever and can pinpoint her location with his unique power despite the fog everywhere. Our friend sees in the dark no matter what, stops her powerful attack, and the girl is shocked by his skills. But the fog does not affect him, and San is now ready. His plan immediately uses his magic to free everyone from the fog. Another young man named Oscar appears and uses his distinctive power to create magical beads that can give them more power and fly high. The team is now completely unleashed and intending to break the place apart. At that same moment, San is worried because Helena has already united with the spirit, meaning they are facing the most powerful force in the kingdom. There is a very high chance they have prepared a plan and a disaster to bring down the team. San starts moving with all courage, and despite all of Helena's deadly weapon attacks, he manages to deflect them all. The world is foggy, but cannot scratch him. But unfortunately, as a result of everything that happens, San gets tired from her powerful attack and protects himself with the magical soul bones he carries with him. Yes, the very same ones offered as the prize. It seems he already has one of them. He manages to deflect all her attacks with a powerful structure, and this drives Helena crazy and makes her reveal her secret attack. Suddenly, a powerful and destructive tornado appears. The girl truly intends to kill him, not just win. San tries with all his strength to protect himself from the deadly attack and covers himself with the soul bones, and all of this cannot withstand much. Unfortunately, the young man gets injured, but despite all of this, he holds on until the last moment for his team, since they promised they would win and sacrifice themselves in the tournament. Once again, the madman summons an iron hammer as if he will break her attack and break her too. The team now shows no mercy to anyone. The girl Wu, with her power and flexibility, can knock them down one after another without any magic or anything. And our friend Wang is burning the place and setting it on fire to the point that the Soul team gets scared and falls to the ground from the heat. But unfortunately, there is one of them who cares nothing about water or fire or insect or mouse. She tells them, "Leave it to me. No one will be able to stand against us." She immediately prepares her magic and extends it to give the whole team power and flexibility. They can now attack with greater force than before, and they go after the Soul team again and knock them down and wipe the floor with their dignity. And suddenly, what we wanted happens, and the legend San appears after he managed to finish off the demon and completely cleared all the fog from the arena. Even Helena manages to separate from the powerful union with the spirit. Unfortunately, San has used all his energy and is exhausted. The team runs to catch up with him, but of course the second soul team stops them and knocks them down with powerful blows. The teachers try to intervene because the matter is getting out of hand, and the team is about to die, but they are stopped because it is an official match and no one can interfere. San at that moment tries to stand up again, but the soul team continues attacking them with powerful blows. A girl decides to sacrifice herself and steps in and shields him with her body. Fortunately, both of them survive. San gets back on his feet and vows to make them pay for what they did. He starts preparing his attack and manages to throw the remaining magical bones at the soul team, and everyone falls immediately. But Helena sees it coming and dodges the attack and only gets scratched. The big shock comes when they discover the bones are poisoned, and they fall too, and none of them can resist what is happening to them. At that moment, the Shirak team runs to San, who is completely finished and injured everywhere. He asks them to continue the fight, saying they must win by any means. The girl Wu is moved by his words and cannot speak, especially as everyone is affected when they learn his personal soul bones have been broken and destroyed, and for him they were his greatest weapon. Despite having exhausted all their soul and magical power, they attack this time with their physical strength, and the greatness on display is breathtaking. Shirak's team breaks the soul team and breaks their bones, landing punches and powerful blows. They are clearly determined to finish the tournament in every direction, gone completely crazy and seeing no one in front of them. Despite the blows, they keep going with full force and courage. The teachers see what is happening and unfortunately cannot do anything until one of them decides to use his intelligence, goes to the queen and tells her that the student named San is the only one who can use a unique magic called the deadly poison, meaning if anything happens to him, the kingdom will suffer a great loss. Immediately, the queen stands and strikes the ground with her staff and stops everyone. And the bigger shock is when she asks the soul team to admit defeat. The floor has been wiped with their dignity. Shirak's team soars with joy and rises again, and everyone finally feels the victory. At that moment, the queen announces that Shirak's team are the champions of the tournament and gives them the legendary soul bones as their gift and prize. Helena and her team are dying of envy and regret. They collect themselves and leave. After the queen finishes her speech, she tells them, now that you have won the championship and had your fun, time to talk seriously. The girl named Wu must come forward respectfully and surrender herself. Everyone is shocked and does not understand anything. The queen shocks them by saying that Wu is not a human but a powerful soul beast. Everyone stands in shock and takes the surprise. What beast and what soul? What are you people talking about? San shocks everyone and blames them, saying, what does it matter? I already knew from long ago. She is my family, the girl my heart chose. I am not going to leave her. Anyone who thinks of getting near her or wanting to take her, that will be over my dead body. And suddenly the whole team gathers toward her and defends her. Even their teacher stands by her side. Everyone starts protecting her with their great magic. The queen, of course, is shocked and cannot believe her eyes. She strikes the magical ground with her staff and a destructive and powerful spell forms beneath it. Wu suddenly attacks the queen with her mighty magic. Everyone tries to deflect her attack, but to no avail. Wu decides to intervene and steps out beyond the barrier, all to protect them. Endures the attack and falls. Immediately, San runs to her and falls himself too with her. That is what love does, dear viewer. And suddenly something surprising happens as the sky lights up and a beam of light comes down and all the magic in a moment disappears from existence. Here we take the big shock as this is San's father, and we learn he is a powerful and important official in the Magic Kingdom as well. He is furious, asking who dared touch a hair on his son's head. San himself cannot believe it and collapses along with the girl Wu. The father has come to take revenge for his son. He brings out a mighty magical hammer and intends to bring down the arena on them. The queen runs to him and tells him he has lost his mind. Uncle Tanj, what is happening? The queen and all her followers create a powerful barrier to stop the attack that is coming from our hero's father, Tanj, and despite all of this, they cannot withstand him. His power is lethal and destructive, and nothing will stand before him. He goes after them and approaches the queen and tells her not to think about running from them again. This time, he did not want to go after them, but next time they will never see him again, because that will be their last day. We now learn that Uncle Tanj causes fear in everyone, and everyone is scared of him and gives him wide berth. Even the queen backs away and leaves and vows to take revenge on him one day. At night, after the tournament ends, they gather and begin helping each other remove the poisons from their bodies after the fight. They ask about the location of San and the girl Wu and learn that San's father took them to ensure their safety. The teachers also ask them to go to a faraway place because the Academy Queen will come after them and try to destroy them. The teacher agrees they should separate because their lives are in danger. The whole team objects and refuses to leave each other. Suddenly, one of the leaders, the father of the girl named Ninj, intervenes and says he will take her because she is from their tribe, and she has already graduated, and they need her to join the Yashim lineage. The girl cannot object and goes with them with sadness filling her eyes, not wanting to leave the team. But she has no choice. But Oscar runs after her and stops them. Here the leader allows him to speak. He says to him, "Look, there is nothing between us. As long as this girl is joining you and she is your daughter, consider me your son, and I want to join you. And I am also from the Yashim lineage you're talking about." The leader thinks about it because he is strong and will help them and agrees. Of course, the young man soars with joy, and even the girl Ninja cannot hide her happiness and feelings. The leader Zan also offers the team to join them. But a young man named Mumbi thanks him for his offer and says that he and Zoe are from the Star Empire, and they have duties and must return as soon as possible. Our friend Huang also refuses the leader's offer and tells him he wants to live his life traveling the world to become stronger. Thank you for the offer, but he will go his own way and will amaze them in the end. Zan looks at them and tells them to enjoy every moment. From today, you will go your own separate paths. You will face many hardships that you must face and solve. Our group will always welcome you whenever you want to come. They all gather and make a promise among themselves that they will meet in the summer 5 years from now. Everyone is excited and goes their own separate way to train and become stronger. At that same time, Wu wakes up shocked and looks around and finds San unconscious. She gets up and looks for anything to save them, but finds Tange in front of her immediately. The girl thanks him for saving her, but is shocked when he says to her, "Look, my daughter, the truth is your presence beside my son is dangerous to him. The whole world is upside down for me. It is best for you to go to Star Forest, where it is the only place you can stay in peace and hide your true nature." The girl drops the whole subject and tells him, "So you're not against my relationship with San, but why are you against two people who love each other? That aside, you're reminding me of the past. I will tell you the truth that even San himself does not know, and that is that his mother is like you, a soul beast. It is known about soul beasts that there are levels, and if they can pass them, they will transform into humans. But beasts are always in danger because the soul masters pursue them to kill them. So if you want to enjoy your life and be with San, you both need to become stronger and reach higher levels, and you need to transform into a human." The girl is moved by his words and has now made up her mind. She tells him she will go and leave Sam behind because if she stays with him, she will become attached and will not be able to leave. She does not even finish her next words and turns to him with tears in her eyes, feeling deeply affected. She goes to say goodbye to him and remembers their memories together and their strong love that no one could have broken. It is she who decided to give him up. She breaks down even more when she sees that the magic wrapped around her has formed into a bracelet and is still attached to her. But she must sacrifice and leaves him her comb so he will remember her by it. She walks toward Star Forest. At the same time, the queen is sitting having a terrible time and sends all the servants to bring the girl named Wu. And we learn there is a big secret behind her, which is why she needs to gather the souls as soon as possible. We return to San, who is dying and devastated and still exhausted, but his father does not leave him and keeps healing him with his magic until he manages to stand again. But he gets angry again when he finds her not beside him. The young man goes crazy and searches for her everywhere. He learns she decided to travel all for the sake of not hurting him. He will not be silent and vows to find her. He pulls himself together and leaves. His father asks him where he is going and stops him by force and gives him a blow that knocks him unconscious. But San tells him he is going after her and no one will stop him. He prepares his magic and is completely crazy about her to the point that he attacks his father. But our friend takes him down in seconds and he finds himself on the ground again. His father tells him, "Get up, son, or she will die. I am not against you, but you are going to protect the girl and cannot protect yourself. You are weak. Wake up for yourself and face the truth. If you want to find her and protect her, hardship will not teach you what to do. Be strong and then you can search for her and stay with her." The young man is convinced by his father's words and finds himself dizzy, so he sits and rests a little. He then speaks with his father and asks him about his true identity, how he was able to save him and the heroine with all that power and courage. The father tells him that secret will be known later, and there are clearly many secrets. At the same time, in a location in Star Forest, we see the trees and magnificent nature where all kinds of beasts and souls live in peace. Our girl finally appears this time, looking put together and relaxed with all gentleness and beauty as she runs in the forest. But she is frightened suddenly when San senses danger and trembles, and tells his father his heart is uneasy and it seems Wu is in danger. His father tells him, "Relax. The matter is that your magic became connected to her before she left, and formed into a bracelet shape, which is why you will feel any danger threatening her. But she is brave and will be able to protect herself." Indeed, at that very moment, a spider-like beast attacks her, and she tries to dodge it and run from it. But San's magic appears everywhere. The world around her becomes filled with flowers, as if San is with her and protecting her. The two feel each other as if they are twin souls, and from the love that crosses 50 kilometers, the young man with his magic manages to push the beast away from the girl. He is happy that he managed to protect her even from afar. He asks his father to teach him more so he can become stronger and reach her faster. Our friend Love has destroyed him, and he sees no one but her. The father agrees and tells him, "Come after me and I will teach you." We return to Wu in the forest, who has not even finished her joy at escaping the spider when she finds a huge and angry gorilla approaching her. But thank God it turns out to be her friend of 10 years. She tells him, "Hey, Uncle Titan, have you forgotten me, or what?" The gorilla Titan cries with joy and asks her where she has been, saying they thought she disappeared and died and they would never see her again. But he suddenly felt a powerful magic and came following it and found her here. But the magic suddenly disappeared. She immediately knows that magic belongs to San and that he was protecting her. She says he is far, but the heart is near. "I finally found the love of my life." Anyway, forget it. You have nothing to do with it. I'm talking about him. In a little while, I will introduce you to him so we can all be a family together. The gorilla Titan does not understand anything. She tells him, "Never mind. The important thing is, this is the love of my life, and you are the monkey of my life." He takes her to the huge lake in the middle of the forest, and the girl is happy and runs everywhere. But it is her first time seeing water, and she goes crazy calling out to her dear friend Dami, who clearly lives in the lake. She calls out to him until her voice runs out, telling him to come out already. "Why are you upset anyway?" The gorilla says he is actually upset because simply you left and went away, and he waited for you with all his love, and you never came back or checked in. She gets a clever idea and tells them, "Suit yourselves. I'm leaving again and leaving all this for you. Here I go. I am going. Uncle Damie, since you do not want to meet me." Her friend softens and his heart rings and weakens before her. He comes out of the lake and suddenly a huge enormous beast in the shape of a giant serpent appears and tells her, "Stop doing those tricks. I forgive you, but the important thing is reassure me and tell me you will not leave again." She tells him she cannot make him a strong promise because honestly, there are some things waiting for her in the human world. She begins to tell them the reason for her attachment to the human world and that the beginning of the story was when she first entered the Magic Academy where she had her first encounter with San. The boy stole her heart from the first glance. He started getting close to her and sticking around, and she honestly weakened and forgave him, and that was that. As the days passed, the two became inseparable, eating, drinking, training, and sleeping together. Not quite sleeping, dear viewer, until the days passed and she knew everything in his life, starting from his father who suddenly left him and went on a long journey, and she stayed with him like crazy. She tells him, "Consider me your sister," and San gets angry and asks, "What sister?" "I consider you my family and my whole life. When I grow up, I want you to be my mother and my sister and all of that." Mother and sister? She tells him, "Fine, consider me your mother and your sister," and the two are absolutely ridiculous with each other. From that day, they became more attached to each other, but she keeps her truth hidden from him that she is not human. They decide to move to his academy, share it together, and there they meet their teachers. From the very start, they test them and tell them that not just anyone can join them. Their teacher prepares to attack with all his soul power. They start preparing themselves to prove their strength, but the team breaks the place apart and proves themselves with full merit, especially their teamwork, which proves all the teachers wrong. From that time, the academy chose them to be a legendary, powerful team. We entered the tournament and won it. But the problem is, unfortunately, they were all injured and were about to die. The team that defended me was about to die. Titan, the moment he hears those words, gets angry and asks how dare humans target her. Wu calms them down and tells them San's father saved her and everything is fine, and even he does not oppose my relationship with his son because his wife is a magical soul like me. They start telling her that humans are dangerous to all of them, and everyone knows that souls and humans are enemies. "Do not talk to me about love or anything else. Wake up to reality, girl." She completely ignores them and looks at San's bracelet and calms herself. At the same time, San is with his father climbing mountains. It is clear they have started a powerful and mighty training. The father starts telling his son everything about the souls since he is connected to one of them. He tells him that for them to transform into a human, they must pass the 60th level, and this is a middle-level standard. They must maintain their power, and simply because everyone hunts them and pursues them. At that moment, San has now understood everything about the souls and trains morning and night to become strong and able to protect the love of his life. His father also gives him a surprise test and breaks his bones and hits him with powerful blows that knock him to the ground. But San's determination makes him stand up again. Not only that, but he stands with full force and delivers stronger blows, uses magic and manages to pin his father and injure him. The young man right away has already become stronger to the point that his father asks him, "Who taught you these moves, son? You are learning behind my back, where and how. Did you not remember I told you about it?" San pulls out a magical book. He tells him, "Look between us. All my skills and moves I learned from this book, not counting weapon making. Everything is in this book. I do not know where it came to me from. The father gets upset and says, "Forgive me, son. The book taught you more than I did." San tells him, "Do not be afraid. You are the one who taught me the fundamentals, and that is more important than anything. What matters is answer me honestly, father, because I am facing what and how can I break the world and find the girl and protect her and live the greatest love story in the world." His father tells him, "Son, it is a simple thing, not less than 10 years. What? Wait, 10 years? I'm ready to train morning, noon, and night, but 10 more days. Let me tell you, father, by the way I won the tournament and took soul bones. Will that not help me shorten the period a little? Tell him that will shorten your lifetime. God help you. Give me those things you're relying on and go train and focus and do not think too much." A new day begins and the girl Wu is helpless because the gorilla titan blocked her with gravity magic from going anywhere. Yes, exactly. And the crazy girl wants to go find medicinal herbs in the forest. Despite all the danger threatening her life, she is determined to go. She tells them, "Keep your mouth shut, and you will not hold me back politely. I will handle it myself." Indeed, the clever girl manages to free herself from their magic and tells them, "I am going for a walk in the forest and coming back. No one complain about me and relax everyone." She actually does what is in her head and runs to the forest. At the same time, the world is upside down in the academy because the Queen's followers and the Soul Academy are attacking anyone from Sherek's team to find the girl, Wu. But who is still standing at the academy is Huang, who is still waiting for them and keeps fending them off. The teachers advise him to leave the academy and get out for his safety. He listens to them and tells them, "I will travel around the world and come back to you. And by then, I will be stronger and able to protect myself and no one will stand before me." He says goodbye to the teachers with a hug and leaves them and goes his own way. Suddenly, someone from the palace approaches the teacher and asks him to come with him because the emperor personally summoned him. The moment he enters the Sky Palace, he is amazed by its beauty and grandeur, but the shock comes when they speak. The emperor tells him, "I found no one but you to entrust with this mission. I want you to recruit the rest of the missing members who are themselves the Soul Masters." The teacher Huang agrees to the secret mission. At that same moment, the emperor's son Xinj appears. He is the crown prince. The emperor appoints the teacher to a high position and tells him there is no room for refusal. "It is enough that you are already trainer to the legendary San the student, known for his lethal and distinctive magic." And everyone, the teacher has no choice but to agree. He thanks them for the great position which will place him in another direction as well. At the same time, in the depths of the forest, Wu is sitting and exploring the world and suddenly finds a small injured soul in a trap and immediately helps it and runs after it because curiosity is killing her. She is shocked when she finds soldiers from the Soul Academy and it is clear they are investigating the matter. She decides to follow them and watch them and gets her second shock when she finds them trapping beasts. It is clear they are looking for something specific. The reason is actually to harm these souls. They continue their path, but Wu stays behind them. They spot her and she rescues the beasts and decides to discipline them and take revenge, trapping them in their own traps and leaving them hanging until they die. We return to San, who is focused, and now determined to absorb the energy of the soul bones, which will boost his power and make him stronger. But suddenly, the unexpected happens. He has hallucinations and hears Wu's voice and even finds her in front of him. She calls to him and gets close and tries to deceive him, telling him, "Let us be together. No academy or anything else." San shows weakness before her eyes but knows something wrong is happening. He immediately recognizes this is a deception and a test for him. He snaps out of the illusion and Tanj is shocked by his son's skills and tells him, "At this rate, if in 5 years you can deflect 10 of my attacks, you can go and look for Wu. I can tell you that you will protect her and live your life." The young man does not wait a moment and immediately stands. "There's no time. Come on, let us start training immediately." He summons the magical hammer and tries to land any blow on Tanj, but it is useless. San does not give up and keeps training morning and night, day after day. As time passes, the father notices his son is beginning to develop and deflect attacks. 10 days pass, and one night the impossible happens. San, with all power and courage, manages to face his father. Not only that, but he lands powerful and terrifying attacks on him, launches him into the air, and dominates him. The biggest achievement comes when he lands 10 blows on him. The father is surprised and tells him, "You did what was supposed to take 5 years in 10 days, son. I am genuinely amazed by you and proud." He does not finish his words. San collects himself and says, "I am going now to find my wife, the light of my eyes. Goodbye, father." He runs immediately towards Star Forest and the joy cannot contain him. He calls out to her and finds her in front of him. Of course, it turns out to be another illusion, stronger magic than before. But he does not know this. He runs to her and she tells him, "Where have you been? I have been waiting for you. Years have passed and I stood in your love. I stayed standing in my place and I say I'm devoted to you. You finally appeared and brought light." They embrace and sit together to one side. As usual, the young man senses something strange and suspicious, but she reassures him saying, "This place is empty and safe. Do not worry. but he cannot hold back. He snaps and uses his power and pins her, especially when he finds her not wearing the bracelet. But she plays a trick and tells him no, it is there. I just took it off for a moment, that is all. The fool believes her and calms down. At the same time, the real Wu is running after followers of the Soul Academy and suddenly knocks down one of them who was trying to get close to her. She finishes him off and asks what they are planning and what they are doing here. He immediately tells her that someone named Gist here in Dolu simply and calmly is hunting souls to carry out a dangerous project, and through which the queen feeds on the power of the mighty souls to become stronger and rule the world. She goes crazy at their plan and finishes him off while getting everything out of them. She is also upset when she senses her soul power is depleting and something strange is happening. Indeed, San at that time is in his soul training. Oh wait, did he go to the forest? Does he think he is as he imagined? He is still in training, but he finally discovers this is a powerful illusion when he senses the absence of beasts, despite the fact they are in a dangerous area where the place should be full of beasts. I am in Star Forest. He looks at Wu and knows it is an illusion. The illusion begins attacking him and harming him. At the same time, she senses him and decides to help him. She starts extending power from her soul through the bracelet and at the last moment saves him from collapse. She decides he must break the illusion he is in. He runs toward her and summons his power and manages to break the illusory world he was living in. But suddenly, he transfers to a second illusory world, but this time inside the soul bones, and understands that everything happening to him is because of the soul bones he carries. He suddenly wakes and is distressed and shocked by what happened. He immediately confesses the truth to his father and tells him, look, son, from the very start, I told you I would provoke you to make you stronger. I put you through some difficulties, but you needed to pass them and focus on your training. San gets upset because everything that happened was actually a deception to him. He will not be silent and decides to tell him about what happened, that he suddenly entered a strange world with no boundaries. The father is shocked and tells him that is called the Soul Sea. The meaning of having reached that place is that your power and skills have begun to improve. San is happy and more motivated to continue training and achieve his goal of protecting and finding her. At night, he continues his training in the forest, but suddenly, on that same path, he notices something strange. Blood drops, a strange beast he has heard about before. He does not wait a moment and runs and tracks his magic to find the location of this beast. He manages to find it and prepares magic and attacks with it. But what is this? The beast's body is so solid that weapons have no effect on it. San gets close and tries to bind it with thorn magic. The beast gets angry and shakes the world on him. He runs from it and tries to attack it too. He brings out his destructive hammer and hits it a second and third time but cannot even scratch it. It seems he will have a hard time with it from the sheer power it has. Father Tanj senses his son and runs to him in that moment to save him. But San is already in the pool and manages to knock it down. He attacks again with his magic and concentrates all his power and lands a lethal blow with the hammer and finishes it off and it falls to the ground. He begins sealing its evil soul in the hammer. The matter requires formidable power, but the crazy young man risks it and tries to seal it. His energy shatters the place. The unexpected happens from the power of the energy and San cannot hold it, and that is it. The young man gets pulled in instead of the beast and is considered now among the ranks of the dead. At the last moment, his father runs to him and manages to save him, but afterward he is unconscious and in bad condition. The father tries to extend the energy he has and wants to give from his own soul. At the same time, Wu senses through the bracelet that the young man has gone crazy. His life is practically in danger. She does not hesitate a moment and extends her soul energy to him through the bracelet. But the poor girl gives him all her energy, and that is fine. She will sacrifice her life. The beauty of love when the other one is dying. Even Tanj notices and tells him, son, this lucky girl loves you. I am your father and your mother never did that with me, son. A new day begins and San finally wakes up from the madness his father put him through. The father is angry at him and looks at him from head to toe and tells him, what? Are you crazy? Wanting to kill yourself to become stronger? Why, son, in one day and one night do you think you are Vin Diesel? I do not want to shock you and tell you that Wu sacrificed her life to save you and you are worried about being stronger for her. Keep going until you have completely sacrificed her life and she dies and then you can rest. He hears those two words and gets terrified and has now decided he must come to his senses. All of this is for her sake and not for the sake of his father or anything or himself. At the same time, a catastrophe and a hellish plan happens in the Soul Academy. Specifically, the queen starts using her dark magic and sinks her fangs into the body of the soul and absorbs all its energy. The woman intends to capture our heroine Wu to do that to her and drain her like a tomato, and all this plan is in the service of her survival and becoming the most powerful. A new day begins and what a disaster. Wu runs to father and it is a mess. Tells him keep up with me. I am not feeling the power of the bracelet that is with you. The father knows the girl is weakening, and this is her right, because this son of theirs risked his life and used soul power, while every day she sacrifices her life to save him from mistakes. The father decides to teach him manners and starts the deadly training. He tells himself, "Forgive me, son, but I want you to be stronger to protect the girl you love. Do not turn out like me, who could not protect the love of my life because of my weakness." Indeed, the two begin training with force controlling them as seconds and minutes and hours pass until night comes. It is clear the young man San is determined and intending to be stronger and break the world and protect Wu. We return to the wicked Queen Dong, and she summons the student Helena again and tells her, "Come close and do not be afraid. You are the chosen student and dear to my heart." She immediately extends immense power to her. Not only that, but the queen also asks her to go on a dangerous journey, all to gain formidable power, so she can restore the reputation of their academy and punish San, who defeated them. Helena, of course, agrees and tells her, "Do not worry. I was already going after San, right?" The biggest shock comes when the queen brings out one of the lethal and formidable soul bones and gives it to Helena. She tells her, "I'm counting on you, but the most important thing is do what you do and come back safe. I have no one but you to protect the academy and its reputation." She tells her, "From my eyes, I will amaze you." She indeed collects herself and sets off on her journey. At the same time, our hero San is breaking the world, and just by using his wooden hammer, he is able to split a waterfall in half. His power level is now at a high place. His father tells him, "Come to me. This is the perfect time to break the seal inside you and free yourself from the illusions that always appear to you." San soars with joy because this step will bring him closer to Wu's power. He immediately concentrates his energy and manages to enter his imagination. He goes back to the place he was imprisoned from the illusions. He intends to take a soul ring to become stronger, and his level rises further. Suddenly, he hears a voice calling him. He decides San to go follow it. He is shocked when he suddenly finds the soul magic as an image of a person speaking to him. He understands this is the source of the unknown voice. He tells him, "Finally, San, you came at the right time. Look, the bottom line is you're considered the king and emperor in this forest, and this is simply because you have distinctive soul magic. Everyone here is considered your followers and servants. No one can reach your hidden power or challenge you, and this turns out to be a long-kept secret." San turns out to be an emperor, and the one speaking to him is the previous emperor. The previous emperor shocks him and tells him your true power is hidden, and this is the time when he must free it. But you must know your power. No one will be able to stand against it. San is amazed and cannot absorb the words and soars with joy. "But hold on, understand what is happening." "But sorry, how do I free this power?" The emperor tells him it is easy and nothing. "All you have to do is be our master and accept our submission. We the souls in plants and forest." And indeed, the miracle happens. San's true power starts to manifest. The young man suddenly flies through the forest and draws the lethal power, and suddenly awakens to the silver plants. Not only that, but he finds an image of his mother descending to him. The young man cannot believe his eyes. The tears are about to fall. The first time he sees his mother, he wishes time would extend and he could stay with her. But suddenly, she returns and disappears. San opens his eyes again and is now at another level. The forest is officially under his control. He is announced as Emperor of the Blue Dream, Emperor of the Forest. At the same time, the girl Wu is exploring the forest and identifies the mixed region. But unfortunately, the queen's followers are everywhere and sense her and her formidable power and run after her to catch her. But she is faster than them, and the smart girl hides and even secretly attacks them and wipes the forest floor with them. She understands what is in store for her and that they have been searching for her throughout the past period. When she returns, Wu is shocked by the second truth when she discovers through the bracelet that San has also become emperor and inherited his mother's power, who is a soul like her. But suddenly, in the middle of her joy, her animal friends interrupt her and prevent her from going back to the mixed region because everyone is searching for her now and her life is in danger. She tells them she has to confront them sooner or later because that is her destiny, and she will take her rights and take revenge for her mother, who was killed by the powerful queen. It is her destiny to fall into her hands and be made to suffer. The girl is carrying hatred and revenge for the queen and will show no mercy. At the same time, the young man San races to his father and shows him his magic and power and tells him, "I have now become Emperor of the Blue Dream, Emperor of the Forest. Something magnificent. I have been freed from the seal and the illusions because of my mother who suddenly appeared in the soul sea." The father hears the word mother and cannot believe it. He asks him where she is and to answer him and reassure him whether she is alive or not. He does not even finish 2 minutes and breaks down. The poor man learns she is no longer present. He also blames himself for not being able to protect her. He falls to the ground and San runs to him and tries to treat him with soul magic. But Tanj tells him, "Do not come near me or anything. I am completely fine." He tells him, "Fine from what? You are dying and you must be treated with my magic or it will be the end of you." But the father keeps refusing completely. San goes crazy and says, "Then I will die if you do not get treated." The father tries to stop him, but he is determined in his view. It is clear he took the matter seriously, and in the end, the father agrees to be treated. But before all of this, the father tells him there is an important matter he wants him for, a special training. The two go out to a strange and suspicious place. San takes a mask to cover his face so no one recognizes him. They intend to discover San's special power. Suddenly, they enter a suspicious tavern. The young man sits, and the father asks him to drink this drink, and then they will acknowledge him in the place. But poor San cannot do it. Everyone bullies him and tells him, "Get out. You weakling, your place is not here." The father encourages his son and tells him, "Get up and teach them a lesson." He does indeed get up and breaks the place over their heads, uses his soul power and dominates them. Everyone enters a state of shock when they discover he is a soul master. They try to flee, but he cuts them off and summons a magical hammer and breaks the wall. After finding a secret passage, the young man does not wait a moment and goes to explore it. He enters a place like none in dreams, all fire and sparks. Suddenly, he finds a powerful and brave knight who tells him, "Hold on. Where are you going?" "The city of the underworld. Not anyone can enter it. Otherwise, you have to finish all the drink you could not handle." And it seems he intends to dominate San. But San immediately attacks him and breaks the world. Not only that, but the knight is stronger and attacks him with his sword, trying to cut him. But who does he think he is dealing with? San is a soul master. The young man knows his weak point and lands a powerful lethal blow that knocks him to the ground. The knight cannot believe his eyes but admits defeat and gives him an entry stamp to the city of the underworld, but warns him he must watch out for himself. A beautiful girl begins welcoming him at the gate and tells him, "Come after me." The two enter the city, and there he sees people imprisoned and weak and unable to use their magic or anything. The girl shocks him and tells him the entry is easy. Yes, but there is only one exit, and that is the road of hell. He must survive 100 battles and win them to be able to climb out the staircase. Otherwise, he will remain imprisoned his whole life like the people you just saw. In addition, if you lose the stamp you have, it will consider you dead immediately. San knows the test will bring out a different person from him, a strong and brave person. He reaches the place where San will stay in the shock when he finds a hammer mark and knows it is from his father, meaning his father had been here before him, learned and passed the test. Suddenly, someone appears from behind San and attacks him and tries to kill him. But the young man finishes him off in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, he is shocked when he sees Helena greeting him. It is clear she has no good intentions, especially since she does not know his true identity. She also came to acquire true power. Both of them intend to break the world. The girl with him tells him, "Watch out." She is the only competitor who came close to reaching level 100, but she is brutal and merciless. Stay away from her. It is better for you. San decides he will enter the competition and fight 10 powerful fighters at once in order to rise in the levels and make a name for himself in this place. Everyone bullies him and says he is weak and will die fast, son. But the shock is that he is the one after them. He takes his sword with all flexibility and speed and dominates all of them, knocking them down one after another and showing no mercy. Everyone falls to the ground defeated and shocked by San's power, especially Helena, who is watching the competition from afar. But there is one problem: to declare victory, they must kill all of them. Of course, he completely refuses. Suddenly, all the fighters go crazy and attack him brutally, and it is clear someone is controlling them. San has no choice but to actually finish them off. He summons his lethal hammer with all flexibility and courage and finishes them off and executes them. San is shocked and cannot believe what he did and does not leave the arena and takes a blow to the head that knocks him down and he cannot move. At that same moment, Wu senses him and decides to sing to him to calm him and sort out his thoughts and not worry. He feels her, but she is hearing his voice. At that same moment, our girl Wu is in her world getting beaten and advancing at terrifying speed in the levels. Suddenly, a gentle beast runs to her and shows her an image and tells her the queen has placed a bounty on her and whoever finds her takes a big reward. She discovers the truth that everyone in the forest is now targeting her. She goes to the mixed region where humans are and is shocked by what she sees: a large and powerful army of soldiers all searching for her everywhere. She gets tense and does not know what to do and tries to think, but to no avail. We return to San, who is shaking the world and has already broken it. He managed to reach level 80 and finished everyone in the arena and wiped the floor with their dignity. Helena watches, shocked and amazed at what is happening. Suddenly, someone from the fighters attacks him and buries his weapon deep in his shoulder. The young man is seriously injured and can no longer move and gets lost. He remembers his training with his father and takes the hammer and breaks the arena beneath him, grabs the fighter and crushes him and finishes him off. And with that, he comes out victorious in a crushing victory and officially reaches level 90, to the point that the king of the city of the underworld watches him. At that moment, San comes out exhausted and devastated and collapses and cannot stand. He tells himself this is the end. Wu senses him and knows he is on the verge of death and must act. Her friends Titan and Dami try to stop her, but no one can hold her back. She concentrates all her energy and gathers it and immediately sends it to San. Oh, the love people. At the time she needs the power to fight the Queen's army, she decided to sacrifice her power for San. He is not willing to sacrifice. You too, dear viewer, are not willing to sacrifice that lovely like and subscribe if you're new so you can see the greatness. Indeed, our friend lives and wakes up already improving. And our girl Wu decides to continue training and promises herself she will go and meet him in real life after she reaches the 60th level. The meeting is beginning to get close. The two will come together again soon. At that moment, we return to our hero San, who has accomplished a miracle after managing to finish off the last fighter. And with that, they officially announce his victory in match 99. One step left, and he gets out of the hell he is in. But the shock when Helena enters after him and finishes off all the fighters in seconds, and they immediately announce she has also passed level 99. Both of them are completely crazy and intending to take revenge on each other in a sweeping and mighty way. After the match ends, San comes out to the city and how he wishes he had not. He sees a child in danger and goes to try to help her and protect her, but she bites him. It seems an ambush was set for him, and who said it remains to be seen. His condition becomes dangerous. As always, Wu senses him, but here it is, Helena who goes and helps him. She grabs the child and repeatedly tries to kill her. San prevents her and tells her the child is not at fault for being raised in this environment. He tries to protect her too. Helena cannot believe him and tells him the fate of the weak is that they must die. She remembers her memories when she was fighting bravely in the old days when she was young. In the end, the king decided to raise her to become stronger and ruthless. But the girl finally is affected by San's words. Her heart softens. He tells her this is something not in our hands and finishes his words and moves away from her and tries to figure out what to do with his life. At the same time, the Soul Masters are killing the beasts one after another in Star Forest. The situation is worrying and there is anxiety in the place. Wu discovers and decides she will turn the world upside down on them and take revenge from them. At that same moment, our teacher also finally decides to act. He goes to the queen and stands before her and confronts her with all her heinous acts. At that moment, we learn the two were lovebirds in the past. He always protected her in training times, and she also comforted him in times of weakness. They were very close, and that is the reason the teacher hesitates to report her crimes to the emperor. He decides to advise her and delivers his last words telling her she must leave Star Forest alone. But the queen deliberately provokes him and asks for a larger army to go to the forest and eliminate all the soul beasts. He tries to convince her again, and what we wanted happens. She is finally affected. It seems she has feelings and we were wrong about her. She finally tells him fine and asks her followers to move secretly and not kill the souls they encounter. At the same time, the girl Wu is in a difficult situation because she keeps extending soul energy to the injured animals. Her friends Titan and Dami keep helping her and protecting her until she regains her power and becomes able to fight the soldiers. San senses her and her pain and immediately decides to extend energy to her from himself, just as she does with him. The two sacrifice their lives for each other without hesitation. It does not even take 2 minutes before Helena enters and tells him she has come to tell him some secrets that will benefit him. The first thing is you do not know about the devil's domain you will reach if you win the match. The bottom line is you will be at another level and no one is like you. Not only that, but you will be rewarded, and the reward will be greater according to your intention in fighting, meaning the bottom line is show no mercy and be ruthless. The girl Helena tells him these secrets, hoping she will learn his identity and remove his mask. But he does not give her the chance and tells her before they meet in the match. Only then will she be able to discover his truth. We return to the Queen Dong, who decides to continue her plan in secret and asks her followers to go to the blacksmith city and ask them for powerful weapons and armor. Also, they do not die easily in Star Forest. Her followers indeed go to the village, but when they enter, they object to the Queen's orders, and all the blacksmiths completely refuse. The followers get angry and furious, but suddenly their leader Tan appears, who frightens them. He decides to display his power to scare them and make them flee. San's father also appears, and it is clear he was their great leader. He secretly extends to them a terrifying and lethal energy, and this is what makes the followers scared and flees. Of course, the blacksmiths know there's a terrifying energy that helped them and suspect he is the leader, but they refuse to believe this miracle. At night, the final and most powerful match, the 100th, finally begins. San prepares to finish the world. Everyone gets tense the moment they learn the fighters are chosen by the king. Suddenly, the match begins and the fighters attack with a mighty dark spell, and it falls to the ground in a second. The biggest shock when illusions in the form of the girl he loves appear. Yes, they exploit his weakness and attack him. The young man takes all the blows and does not know what to do. Suddenly, he decides to end the deceptions that are happening. He flies into the middle of the arena and uses a lethal attack and knocks the group down without resistance and wipes the floor with them. making them an example for anyone who thinks of looking at him. A big shock appears when Helena enters the arena and tells the followers of the king of the underworld, "What do you think? Are we stupid?" The two actually made an agreement with each other to cooperate and get out of here together. San also decides to fool her and tells her, "My name is Zabula." So she believes him like an idiot and tells him agreed Zabula. And her feelings start moving toward him, and she clearly begins to like him. We return to the present, and the Prince of Hell decides to give them authorization to enter and exit this city at any time, because they truly won with full merit in the 100 matches. He sends them to the exit path, but betrays them and breaks the ground beneath them and drops them into a strange and suspicious place. It is clearly the road to hell. Black magic starts affecting them, especially Helena, but San saves her and frees her from it. The girl feels she has now fallen for him and cannot do without him. The poor thing does not know he is her archenemy, San, who has been after her from the start. Afterward, the two move to find an exit, but nothing appears. A flock of wild birds appears and attacks them, trying to cut them. The two start fighting the birds and cutting them down one after another with no mercy or compassion. Helena is impressed by his formidable skills and keeps focused on him. They continue their path, hoping they will finally be free from this place. But the king of the place is the reason for what is happening to them. Suddenly, he summons a huge lethal beast, trying to destroy the path and imprison them. They immediately flee to save themselves from the disaster, but unfortunately, they fall into the abyss. At the last moment, our clever San manages to save Helena with all flexibility and professionalism and sacrifices himself. The girl does not wait a moment and does the impossible herself to save him too. The two return to the Hell Road, and it is clear an epic battle will happen between them and this beast. The two unite. San throws himself on the beast and uses heavenly light magic, and with his sharp lethal weapons cuts it apart. Helena steps in and with one blow from her finishes it off, but they are completely exhausted from the fight and decide to rest for a moment. But suddenly, the catastrophe happens as they transfer to the second level of danger. A huge, giant, monstrous serpent appears before them. San cannot even speak from the shock. He remembers his teacher told him about it and how dangerous it is. He remembers his words that if he faces it one day, do not even think about it and just run immediately. Indeed, that is what happens. San collects himself and puts distance between himself and it and flees, but the serpent will not let him. It appears before them and sets the place ablaze with terrifying fire. At that moment, San decides to face it, and that is it. He tries to attack it with his hammer, but not even a scratch. Its body is harder than steel. His hammer is like a toothpick to it, and might even be weaker people. This battle starts from only one side, so the two must cooperate, or it will be the end of them. San runs with his hammer in all brutality and madness, and Helena manages to hit all the weak spots in the serpent. Because of this, the serpent goes crazy and suddenly creates a lethal fireball intending to destroy them and finish them off. San does not wait a moment and flies high, and with his formidable hammer throws it at the serpent and sets it on fire. But the catastrophe happens when the serpent manages to create an illusion and makes them fight each other, constantly thinking of the worst moments of their lives without even feeling it. Fortunately, San manages to free himself from it and with soul power tries to wake up Helena, who is spinning in a whirlpool of painful memories, especially the moments of her dear friend's death at her own hands. She discovers that because of the Soul Academy, she was turned into a beast without mercy. She tries to control herself and tells San, "Save me from the illusion I am in. I will be your servant at your feet." Devastated from the torment she is in, San decides to save her. San goes crazy at what is happening. He takes the lethal hammer and breaks the black magic. The last thing remaining from the serpent is its kernel. At that same moment in a certain place, the king of the underworld is on the verge of death because San managed to take his title with full merit. And with that, Wu finishes his mission and journey well. He takes Helena and exits the city of the underworld, finally. At the same time, while the fighting and war is happening everywhere, our friend Huang, who decided to travel the world, heard that in a place in the city they were trapping women, deceiving them and telling them they would help them find true love. Huang gets angry and tells them, "You are ruining the reputation of love." He goes to the gang and introduces himself with soul power and tells them, "I am a soul master, handsome and strong. The bottom line is, I want you to introduce me to a beautiful and smart girl of good family who is suitable for me." The gang agrees, thinking they will subdue him too, not knowing his truth and power. They take him to meet their leader Bulo. The young man, the moment he sees him, remembers his truth, and this was when he was trying to get close to Wu one day. But the girl cut him off and dominated him, gave him a few blows, and he completely lost consciousness from her power. We return to the present when they announce him as a student in the gang. He lives the role and makes them believe him. They treat him in a VIP manner. And also there is someone with him at the rank of Soul King named Jaya. At night, the queen's followers capture this soul king, and it is clear they have no good intentions, especially when the queen tells them they must go and summon her dear student Helena from her deadly journey. Our hellish plan is about to begin. At the same time, San finally wakes up and finds himself in the real world and also meets Helena, who they both realize they have acquired the mighty devil's domain, meaning they now have a unique, extraordinary power distinct from other humans. But San is in another state of wonder and asks why she did not betray him and kill him when she had the chance while he was unconscious. She tells him, "You're an idiot. You saved me one for one. I will never let you die. What was between us is over. You and I are enemies in this world because you simply belong to the Soul Academy that is responsible for all the heinous acts." He finishes his words and does not allow her to get close to him and backs away from her. At that moment, the queen's followers arrive and summon Helena. At the same time, San is on his way and finally meets his father. He tells him, "I wish this journey has taught you something." He tells him, "It taught me a lot. I'm now ready to go find the girl I love and protect her." The father calms him down and tells him not to that degree, meaning between us, your vicious intentions in fighting are clear as the sun in your eyes, and this is because you were in the hell world. But here, if someone sees you, they will not show mercy. You must take your time and rest and return to your normal self. At the same moment, the gorilla titan and the soul beast try with all their energy to wake Wu up from her slumber. She has become weak and exhausted. At the same time, the forest is being attacked by the queen's followers. San senses her and that she is dying. He does not wait a moment and sits and concentrates all his power to help her and save her from death. His formidable power reaches her, but the poor girl enters a whirlpool and remembers her last moments with her mother and cannot forget or get past it. At the same moment, San has now sent Wu all his power and collapses from exhaustion. The two suffer and face life's difficulties with all courage and love. At night, San finally wakes up, but goes crazy and is worried about Wu. His father reassures him and tells him that is enough. You did what you could. She will go through difficult phases because she decided to transform into a human. At the same time, San loses control of himself and uses the devil's domain too much, but his father alerts him and tells him to focus and control himself. Because whoever harms himself and you are not up to that level might harm others with this method. We return to our friend Wong the Traveler, who is watching Bulo as he deceives a new girl and steals from her. But suddenly a beautiful fighter girl attacks Bulo and tells the girl, "Wake up, crazy one. He is laughing at you." He tries to shed crocodile tears and you believed him like a fool. The girl indeed wakes up and Wong helps her and they stop Bulo in his place. But his followers intervene and attack the fighter girl. Here Wong starts protecting her and lights up the world. It is clear someone has fallen in love with her, lost in her beauty and courage. He learns she is one of the soul masters. Bulo is more shocked when he knows what happened and that he fell as a result of his own actions. They imprison him and make him an example to everyone in the city. But Huang decides to interrogate him. He grabs him and tells him, "Finish telling me the truth about the disappearance of the soul masters. Even the young man who was with us disappeared and there is no trace of him." Bulo swears to him he knows nothing about this matter and has no hand in it at all. He keeps begging him to have mercy and free him. At the same time, the Queen Dong is in her palace contemplating her plan, but suddenly, Helena interrupts her and tells her, "I will not lie to you, but honestly, there was someone with me on the journey and he also managed to acquire the devil's domain and its formidable power." The Queen immediately gets angry and tells her search for him and capture him. "He might be useful to us and we can benefit from his power. Otherwise, if you feel he is a traitor, kill him immediately." Helena indeed sets out to carry out the mission. She takes some fighters with her and gets ready. At the same time, San is with his father. They reach a new location, which is the city of Taiandu. They go and find one of the workers in trouble because of soldiers from the Soul Academy. But San intervenes and in a moment breaks their heads and knocks them down. The father asks the worker to go tell the head about him, and she will introduce him immediately and let him in. Indeed, the head of the wing, Yahoo, lets them in, and the father and Yahoo know each other from his time together. It is clear they have a long bond between them. What a shock when he tells him, "Greet your aunt. Do not be embarrassed. Yes, she is my sister." The young man cannot speak from shock. Which aunt? She tells him, "Your aunt, dear. Go change your clothes because she will be responsible for you and your training in this wing." At that same moment, his aunt is moved and cries when she first sees her brother and even his son. What sweetness this is, she cannot believe her eyes. It is clear a new and great story will begin between them. She begins training him to help him control his power, and we learn her name is Yahoo. His aunt then sits with Wu's father and they recall beautiful memories as they have not seen each other for a long time. She also remembers her brother whose name is Xiao and says he has reached a level none other has matched. He is now the head of a tribe unlike any other. We learn the whole family descends from that tribe and the father himself was a key member of it, but gave it all up. Yahoo tells him, "Go and repent for your mistakes and have them forgive you and take you back to the tribe." The father looks like a mess and tells her, "Shame on you, girl. I intend to just give it some time and patience and I will return to them again." At that moment, San comes in wearing his new clothes. The father is moved by his son who has grown up right before his eyes. He looks at him and tells him, "Son, from here onward, Your new journey begins in becoming stronger and controlling yourself and your feelings. When you finish training, come meet me in the valley. As for me, I'm leaving now. He entrusts him to his aunt and leaves. She tells him, shame on you. This is like my son. I will not leave him. The father leaves from here, and she decides to take San to a place called the Moonwing Garden and also advises him to keep wearing the mask and hide his identity. What will happen to you if they discover your true nature? She immediately summons a musical instrument and tells him, look, dear, this instrument is the most famous thing here, and it is what we will rely on in training. You must sit and concentrate, and your hands must be clean with not a speck of dust. You hear me or what? He plays with her. Continue, continue. She continues and tells him all the important information about the instrument and its strings. She finishes speaking and finds San in another world, floating in the beauty of the sound he hears, feeling safe and calm. His aunt is happy with him immediately and gets up and gives him a book with everything he wants to know. She tells him, I will leave you, but I want you by the end of the day to have mastered playing the instrument. He rushes and says, I am not waiting for any day or anything, I am going now. He sits on the chair, barely cleans his hands with a cloth, throws it beside him, begins to play. How I wish you had not played. My mind hurts. Gently, gently. She stops him and tells him, believe me, at this rate, you will not see your father again. You have not even come close to his level. Focus, son, and do not rush. Only then will you be able to succeed in your mission and journey, and you will be stronger. It seems the mission required of him is to learn patience and control himself with the instrument. San collects himself and is sitting sulky and upset, cleaning the instrument and not succeeding in anything else. He tries to play and test his luck, but fails miserably. At that moment, his aunt enters, and he immediately thinks of her as an enemy and activates his personal devil's domain, the distinctive power he managed to acquire from hell. But his aunt cancels it and stops him in seconds with her power. He stands shocked and asks her, between us, I have been like this since I arrived, and I have been wanting to ask you, how do you manage to stop the devil's domain? She simply tells him, look, son, since you asked, I will tell you the truth. My level originally does not exceed the 9th level, but I keep controlling my emotions and trained on this matter and managed to use my special power, which is the power of the noble ring that cancels any power before it. The bottom line is everything depends on the power of your control and mastery over your energy. She finishes her words and goes to adjust the strings that broke because of San. She begins to play and shows him the meaning of mastery and power. As always, she shocks and amazes him, and he decides he will now take the matter seriously and train more. A new day begins, but San, as usual, is playing his instrument in an irritating way, since he is still a beginner. At that moment, an angry young man appears and shakes the world on them, asking if there is no respect or what. He goes to San and is after him, but poor San does not know this is a prince, and not just any prince, the 4th prince of the kingdom. San looks at him and does not care whether he is a prince or minister, and tells him, I do not know you, and you do not know me. Stay away from me and mind your business. The prince goes crazy. We learn his name is Binge, and he grabs him intending to cause trouble. Suddenly, San will not let him go either. The young man activates the devil's domain and intends to break the world on him. But at the last moment, Yahoo intervenes and stops them and scolds the prince and tells him it is not enough that you are not studying, but also you come to make problems. My word goes to the king and he will handle you. It seems my words are no longer being heard. As for you, San, you do not know how to play and you do not know how to do anything. At the same time, Helena learns there is a masked young man in the Moonwing Garden. Yes, she means our hero. She runs to him and thinks he is our friend. She confirms when she senses the devil's domain. She breaks the place and enters. Everyone tries to stop her, but no one can handle her. The one who stands up to her is Yahoo and the 4th prince, who tell her you have no right to enter this place. And moreover, you want to have your way and search for a specific person. At that moment, Yahoo gets angry and uses the noble ring and her formidable domain and manages to prevent all of Helena's power in the devil's domain. The girl is, of course, shocked by her power and is completely defeated before her. Suddenly, the unexpected happens. The crown prince and 1st prince appear and enter the Moonwing Garden and asks them, what is this gathering? Huna immediately tells him the Soul Academy is searching for a specific person from another tribe, and I will not leave this place until I find him and confirm with my own eyes he is not here. Otherwise, I will not leave. The 1st prince agrees, but Yahoo tells her, come here. She alone without a doorman. The bottom line is, you will search the place in my presence, if that suits you. The world turns upside down. Afterward, Helena is determined to enter the private garden, and this garden belongs to Yahoo, who tells her, are you crazy? I'm telling you my privacy and home, you want to enter how? The girl will not be quiet and knows there's definitely something to this. She prepares the devil's domain and attacks with maximum power. She must find San and bring him to the queen. But she attacks Yahoo with sharp weapons and knives. Yahoo, with all wisdom and calm, tries to stop her and uses all her power, but she cannot withstand the lethal energy. At the right moment, the crown prince intervenes and tells her you have crossed the boundaries and gone too far. Pull yourself together and go back, or your words will be with your queen. The girl ignores this and collects herself and enters the wings garden. She looks around and cannot believe her eyes and is sure. I sense the energy. I know he is here. The crazy girl feels embarrassed and collects herself and pretends nothing happened and leaves. But the first prince tells her this is the last warning. Come again, and I will consider you our deadliest enemy, whether you are the queen. She indeed leaves and leaves them the place. But suddenly, the crown prince asks Yahoo and tells her, do not worry. Tell me the truth, and I will help you. The fourth prince immediately intervenes and says, there is no truth or anything. It is clear she came to play tricks. I can confirm there is no one from another tribe here. They finish speaking and return. But Yahoo runs to her brother's son, who is submerged underwater and hiding all this time. They come out and she tells him everything is fine, but Helena's power injured him in his shoulder. His aunt worries about him, but she is also poor and has depleted all her energy herself and is completely exhausted. They sit together and he tries to help her. He tells her, forgive me. Everything that happened is because of me. She gets angry and tells him, what are you saying? Do not say that again. You are my family. My brother entrusted you to me. You are my son. It is enough that you started adapting to the place and you know how to behave and hide like a mouse. He does not know whether this is a compliment or not, considering it a compliment. She tells him, look, I do not want to surprise you, but I will not spare you. The bottom line is, we are going to start the real training. Do you see the number of people searching for you and intending harm? Look, San, you must listen from now on. He listens and tells her, do not worry. I will amaze you, believe me. At the same time, the king of the tribe holds a meeting with the officials thinking about a way to stop the queen and the Soul Academy from their heinous acts. Suddenly, the crown prince and prince enter and tell them everything that happened in the Moonwing Garden, and also that they are searching for a specific person from another tribe. It seems this person possesses the devil's domain too. The bottom line is, the queen is after him and will turn the world upside down on him and will not let him go. They ask the teacher if San, the beloved student of his, is the same person everyone is searching for. He blames himself for not knowing anything about him for a long time after he disappeared and went to train with his father. At the same moment, specifically in the queen's palace, Helena has told her everything that happened, and immediately, the queen is tense because she will lose her relationship with the kingdom of Tiandu. She warns Helena that she cannot approach them again or provoke them. I will handle things my own way and make this young man surrender and clear his path. The clever girl clearly has a disaster in mind. A new day begins in the Moonwing Garden, and suddenly one of the servants runs and tells Yahoo there is someone waiting for her and asking to see her. She agrees to let him in, and it turns out to be the teacher. He tells her, I have come to see the young man everyone is searching for. Yahoo is shocked and tells him, I do not know anyone you're looking for. He tells her his name is San, and he is hiding with you too. She tells him, San, how do you know him? He also tells her no one knows but me that you're from Botna's family. She is shocked and confirms he really knows the father and San. She tells him, please come after me. On the way, she tells him, excuse me, forgive us for the disturbance you have been hearing, but San is still a beginner and no one can sleep because of him, and he keeps training on the musical instrument. She brings him to the place and leaves him. The teacher goes and meets San, and the shock that appears on San's face when he sees his beloved teacher. He runs to him and hugs him, cannot believe his eyes and cannot absorb that after years he is meeting the teacher again. The teacher is happy with him and tells him, my student grew up and became stronger. But your talent in music is terrible. Do not be funny and do not play again. They keep joking and talking and reliving memories and are happy until San asks his teacher about the reason he searched for him. He tells him, look, son, I heard from the crown prince in the palace that there is a person who possesses the devil's domain and the world is upside down on him. I immediately knew it was you, San, the brave and mighty student. What is the news, truth be told? The girl named Wu? San tells him their sad story. We separated, and the girl Wu went to Star Forest, and between us, I'm currently doing everything I can to reach her and protect her again. And truthfully, I have also officially become Emperor of the Forest, and my power has increased by leaps, but I need to control it. He also tells him the truth that he can sense Wu and help her from far away, but cannot do more because of his lack of balance. The teacher notices the young man is not himself and the will to fight is clear in his eyes. The teacher reassures him and tells him truly, if you want to help your beloved in the period of her transformation, currently there is only one way. He makes San sit and summons his formidable energy and tells him concentrate very well, because you will transfer a large part of your energy through the method of mutual cultivation, meaning she will literally possess the same energy you have. You are just channeling it to her, nothing more. The girl indeed starts to become like a flower that will open and transform into something called the soul ring, and this is a higher level. Bit by bit, she is getting closer to becoming human. This is the power of love, dear viewer. San does not leave her for a moment and wraps all his magic and power around her to protect her and help her. As she enters a new level, she suffers from nightmares and illusions. But San appears in her illusions and reassures her and tells her, I am with you and will not leave you. I am bound to find you and protect you. They finish their conversation and he finishes his words with the teacher too. He tells the teacher that the greatest leader is searching for you. It is clear he wants you in a conversation. He tells him, from my eyes, I will be free and go to him myself. The teacher, before leaving, tells him, do not forget the promise you made with the rest of the team and that you will all meet again after 5 years. San is happy and a smile forms on his face. He decides he will indeed go, but with the love of his heart. A new day begins, and the teacher is gone, yes, but his influence on San is clear. The young man plays with all calm and develops greatly in the level of controlling his energy. He keeps training morning and night and is determined to shock everyone with his abilities. He can also truly help Wu, and every day the girl's condition improves and her levels rise, all because of San's power. To the point that Titan and Dami are shocked by the power of love, and those are her animal friends, in case you are confused, dear viewer. The following day, everyone is disturbed by San's mastery, and the young man has become the center of attention for all of Moonwing Garden. Even Yahoo notices and is proud of him. We return to the palace and the crown prince is with the emperor and tells him about his new plan to hold a birthday party for him. The emperor asks about the reason because usually he does not like holding birthday parties and that kind of thing. The crown prince, the clever one, tells him, I truly feel there is a person from another tribe hiding in Moonwing Garden. This is besides everyone there talking about a masked young man that Yahoo is interested in. The bottom line is he is the person who possesses the devil's domain. We must control him before the Soul Academy. The only way is for us to send him an official invitation to attend the party. Indeed, the next day, the invitation arrives for Yahoo. She tells him she cannot refuse because it comes from the king himself. At that moment, San intervenes and tells her the crown prince is not simple and smart. I met him a few years ago, but he will not recognize me now after I changed and became stronger. Do not worry, I will go and no one will recognize me. Indeed, Yahoo allows him and tells him to focus on everything around him. A new day begins and the crown prince's party starts with food and festivities and everyone is present, the nobles and officials, and among them is the masked San and of course his aunt. Suddenly, the crown prince goes to him and greets him and tells him, my instinct tells me we have met before. San acts accordingly and tells him he has never had the honor of meeting someone as handsome and noble as you before. Certainly my eyes will never forget you. The crown prince likes his words and asks him to play a piece in front of the esteemed audience. At that moment, the prince enters completely drunk and exhausted and asks, who is playing this? I heard it once and my ear almost ran away from it. But San shocks everyone and is confident in himself, collects himself, sits and prepares. Suddenly, he starts playing and notices all the soul masters around him who are also playing with him. The young man tries to catch their speed and surpass them. Not only that, but he surpasses them and dominates them. No one can match his control. At the same moment, Wu benefits from San's power. The girl feels calm and peace and rests from her nightmares. The playing ends and San begins to thank the crown prince for this great opportunity. Suddenly, the crown prince shocks him and tells him, what do you think about joining our group and training in this palace? You overcame the soul masters with you with full merit. San and his aunt politely refuse, especially Yahoo, who tells him the young man has already decided he will stay in Moonwing Garden for a short period because he has a new journey ahead. They finish their conversation and return. At night, San says goodbye to his aunt, who tells him, I now trust you and you have reached a stage where you can control yourself. He tells her, do not be upset. I will go find my father and then search for the love of my life. His aunt is happy for him. She tells him, when you find her, introduce us because we are already one family and relatives. Her tears come down from her eyes. She is moved but says her final farewell to him. At the same time in the palace, the prince is causing trouble just as the king takes his soul journey, and this is what makes the crown prince throw him out of the room. But before he leaves, he decides to take his father's medicine pills because he is suspicious of the matter. He goes and gives the pills to the leader and tells him to investigate the matter more. It is clear there's something going on and a conspiracy being plotted against the king. We return to our hero San, who has reached the valley happy that he will meet his father. But he gets the shock of his life when he first sees him. What is this? The father has lost an arm and a leg. The young man cannot absorb the shock and his happiness turns to grief. He runs to him and cannot believe his eyes. Tell me the name of whoever did this to you and I will bring them to you dead. Tanj calms him down and shocks him and tells him, look son, I was the one who did this to myself. No one in the entire continent. And on the occasion, the continent is called Dolu. Let us get back to the matter. No one can get close to me. The reason and what is in it is that I had to extract the soul bones from my body, and that was the only solution as far as I knew. The father is clearly affected and resentful of himself at this point and decides to finally tell him his truth, a painful truth. He summons the formidable hammer and splits the waterfall behind him. A hidden cave appears. Tanj enters it, and immediately behind him his son follows. The young man does not understand or comprehend what is happening, especially when suddenly Tanj tells him, "Sit and greet your mother." San at that moment looks at his father and says, "Father, what mother? I see in front of me a plant." The plant brings out a form, the soul of his mother and her last energy. At that moment, the father and son are moved, especially after Tanj tells the soul of the mother everything that happened to him and tells her, "Look how San has grown and become strong. No one matches him anymore. He inherited your power and became emperor of the forest." Not only that, but he met his aunt. He then sits and tells his son everything. From a few years ago when we were young, we were known for our power and unity. Our tribe was a pride for them to the extent that they gave us the soul bones and entrusted us with them. Even the leader, our father, decided we should leave the tribe and go train for years and return and be leaders of the tribe and masters of the soul. Indeed, the leader's trust was in the right place, and we made a name for ourselves and became among the greatest soul masters in the continent. One day I met a beautiful girl by chance in the market. My eyes fell on her, and suddenly they fell in her eyes. I felt she was the chosen one. The heart chose her. She told me, "Can you help me?" And indeed, she was a thief. Despite that, I still helped her. What can I do? She still stole my heart anyway. She gave and took among the poor and cared for them. From that day, I fell in love with your mother, whose name is Yan. Not only that, but from my intelligence and love for her, I told her, "What do you think about coming with us on our journey? The intention is for you to become stronger, and we will protect you." And that was my intention. The girl agrees, especially after she learns they are the most famous soul masters of their time. The team starts its journey helping each other and protecting each other in all situations. Not only that, but also saving weak children from danger. Until one day, your uncle returns to the tribe. I, of course, stayed with the love of my life. I discovered her truth and that she is a peaceful soul beast. We decided to get married and live in happiness together. The day I decided to take her and go to the tribe for them to receive her, and then the shock came. On the way, the military soul base intercepted us. They were actually following us and cornered us, but we united together and managed at that time to escape with soul power. But the problem is, we could not return to the tribe. Everyone was targeting us. Even my father died from grief and anger. From that day, we fled in the forest. You were born and lit up the world. You were for us the hope and joy after years of suffering. Until suddenly we discovered in the middle of our journey the Military Soul Academy is still chasing us again. But this time I was completely done with him. I said I must defend my family. I came out and faced them, and the shock as the father tells him he was against very powerful officials and soul masters. I managed with my power to knock them down one after another and wipe the floor with them. The disaster happened when a certain body and a lethal energy arrow falls to the ground in a moment, until your mother Yan appears and shields me with her body while she is carrying you. She tells them I am your target and demand, "Leave my family and I will surrender." That crazy girl restrains the father and leaves her son and sacrifices her life. Suddenly, the earth breaks and a terrifying legendary energy appears. Yan decides to end herself so everyone can be at peace. She says goodbye to her son and Tanj and tells them, "I trust you, protect San and live in peace." The grief and tears are something else. The girl completely fades like dust and her soul disappears into the air. Tanj holds his son from there and summons his formidable hammer. He is now completely crazy about his wife, not seeing in front of him. He attacks them and shakes the world on them. He flies high and breaks all their faces, cuts through them and makes them regret the day they were born. But what use is grief after it is too late? The love of his life is gone, people. Their leader goes crazy too and fights with a lethal sword. What is there for Tanj to see anyway? He attacks with mighty legendary power and delivers a powerful blow with his hammer, showing them exactly what he is made of. But the problem is, because of that day, everyone targeted the tribe, your father's tribe known by the name Hodian. In the end, to protect themselves, they announced the expulsion of Tanj from the tribe. From that day, Tanj protects them and helps them from far, far away. We return to the present, and he has now finished his story and painful tale to his son. San learns all the achievements his mother made to protect him. Now you know the reason I want you to be strong and better, simply so that a day does not come and you go through what we went through. You must protect the girl you love. You are the one who will sacrifice his life for her. You understand, son? San is already moved, and a tear is in his eye. Suddenly, Tanj brings out a box and gives it to his son. The shock when it brings out the soul bones of his mother. He says, "These are a gift from Yan to you. It was her last wish to protect you. Do not hesitate for even a second and keep her power and fulfill her last wish." The young man immediately prepares his spell to absorb her great energy. He suddenly finds himself in an illusory world and hears the voice of his mother as she said goodbye to him as a small child. She tells him, "Forgive me, son. I will not be able to see you grow up." He collapses and wakes from the memory and runs to his father. He tells him, I saw my mother. She was saying goodbye to me and crying. Tanj tells him she left her last feelings and memories in the bones, so when you absorb them, you will know all her memories about her. San's feelings overflow, and he is moved. The young man says he has decided to take revenge from the tribe, especially the Soul Academy and the evil queen. The father alerts him and tells him you must be stronger to protect the tribe and protect the girl you love. Indeed, San swears to avenge his mother and the father who sacrificed for him. We return to the wicked Queen Dong, who has begun a terrible plan. She meets the commander of the Soul Academy and the teachers and tells them, I came here to finish you off. Of course, the commander cannot believe her, and suddenly his body is cut to pieces and soul bones belonging to the queen are embedded in it. The commander dies in seconds until the end, not comprehending her boldness, not even understanding what happened. She tells him she needs the power at a time like this, and the bottom line is no one is better than you as my spoil, because he is one of the powerful soul masters, and she will absorb his energy. At the same time, Tanj is now entrusting his son. He tells him, look son, I am entrusting you with the soul bones to return them to the tribe. Not only that, but I also want you to apologize to them on my behalf because the tribe lost its status and became outcast. Send my greetings to your uncle and your grandfather in the ground. San is moved and tells him from my eyes, but what do you think about coming with me? His father refuses and tells him he will stay and protect his wife's soul. So San decides to treat his father and gives him a medicinal herb. But the shock when Tanj learns there is a legendary place that can heal the soul, the plant that is his wife, and she might return to life again. At the same moment, San takes his father and reaches a strange and suspicious place, a land where water and fire meet. This is the secret that will heal his mother's soul and make the plant grow healthily. San tells his father to find a safe place to put the soul plant, and then it will grow. San begins to tell his father about this place that was always being struck day and night, and as the days passed, he discovered that the rarest medicinal healing herbs exist there. They are happy and plant the soul plant, and indeed it starts to grow. It is clear the place truly suits it. The father is proud of his son and tells him, son of a lucky woman, you have friends you can trust, and the love of your life too, and managed to reach a place like this. They finish their conversation and go rest a bed. We return to the palace and specifically to the king's room. The prince is sensing the danger the king is exposed to. The servants try to give the medicine to the king, but the poor young man is scared for his father and takes the medicine, causing trouble, saying no one will pay attention to the king but me, and this medicine must pass through me before going to the king. He pretends to present the medicine to the king, but in truth hides it. At that moment, suddenly the crown prince and the expert in poisons leader appear and wink at him and tell him come after us. He gives him the medicine and tells him I am not comfortable. And the matter is that the man's health is deteriorating. He is dying, not getting better. The bottom line is I am suspicious of something other than the poison. I want you to take this medicine and analyze it and tell me specifically what is in it. He indeed agrees because he is an expert in the matter. The leader reassures him he will also make an antidote against the poison. At the same time, you must protect the king and be by his side. We return to San, who is continuing his journey and reaches the 60th level. The father tells him you should pass through Star Forest and meet the girl you are searching for. The love of your life, Wu, because she too will be stronger by now and has passed the difficult phase and training she was in. San soars with joy and is happy that he will finally meet his beloved. At the same time, she is in a cycle of nightmares and illusions and cannot get past the death of her mother. Suddenly, San appears in her illusions. The girl is shocked and cannot believe it. She tells him what brought you here. I came to see you. I acted and did the impossible, and your time has now come to get rid of all these illusions. You are strong and can overcome all of this. The important thing is you must accept it. Your mother has died and she wants you to be stronger and live your life. San indeed disappears from there, and she also takes the decision, and all the nightmares disappear. It is clear nothing separates them now except a few days for the legendary awaited meeting that everyone is waiting for. Our friend Wu has succeeded in completing her transformation. She lands with all gentleness and beauty on the ground and feels she has been reborn. The joy cannot contain her. Even Titan and Dami are moved for her and tell her San never left her for a moment and kept extending his energy and power to her so she could pass the phase she was in. She is moved and now feels ready to meet San, and they begin their journey. But suddenly the unexpected happens, or rather the expected. She hears a loud sound from the forest, and it is clear the Soul Academy has launched another attack. She does not wait a moment and decides to find out what is happening. At that same moment, our hero San has also started his journey to reach her. He meets a group of children on the path and stops them and asks them if they know the Hodian tribe. The children gather and tell him what tribe, uncle? San gets annoyed at them, especially after they grab his map and run with it. The poor young man runs after them but falls into a trap and goes down into a pit. Not only that, but in less than 2 minutes, he finds one of the children brought a group and they turn out to be members of the Hodian tribe. They take him and ask him, who gave you this map, friend? San tells them, take me to the tribe and I will explain everything. The bottom line is, I am from the side of my Aunt Yahoo. Indeed, the young men take him and bind him as a precaution as well. One of them, named Lunge, challenges San to race him. San indeed runs after him at the speed of lightning. They reach a high mountain, but the shock is that they must climb it, and it is as if there is no ladder to it. Not only that, but the surprise is that they must walk across an iron chain to reach the tribe. Lunge crosses and succeeds, but San and the others get stuck right in the middle, not knowing what to do, and there is a powerful and savage hawk that breaks the chain and attacks them. Unfortunately, everyone falls and they say their last goodbyes to San. San, who is flying through the world with his formidable power, also rescues the two remaining ones with his distinctive blue-silver magic. Everyone is amazed and shocked to the point that Lunge greets him and tells him, I am satisfied with you from here onward. You are my brother. He breaks the bindings and they get acquainted. At that same moment, he is already in front of the tribe's gate. San, with his magical hammer, manages to enter and pass through the gate and gets permission. Lunge explains the path to him to reach what he wants. You keep going straight and you will find the tribe leader in front of you. Simple and easy. He indeed goes in and enters, and here is the surprise. His Aunt Yahoo is in his face. He wants to greet her, but notices who is the current tribe leader, and it is his uncle too. I told you about him, but you have probably forgotten, and I have too, dear viewer. That is fine. His uncle starts treating him coldly and tells him, who are you, and what brought you here? Do you not know your father is expelled from the tribe? And why does he have the nerve to send you instead of coming himself and apologizing? San keeps apologizing and bowing to him and says, excuse me, I came so you can accept me into the tribe and forgive me, and also forgive my poor father. The leader gets angry and shakes the place on him. He is no longer seeing in front of him and tells him your father made the tribe go through difficult circumstances, and we no longer have a name before all the tribes because of his love for a soul beast. Suddenly, San interrupts him and says, my father sent me with this box and asked for forgiveness. The huge shock comes when he opens the box and two soul bones come out. Come now, dear viewer, let me shock you. His uncle cannot believe his eyes. Even Yahoo cannot believe it. He tells San, your crazy father, what did he do to himself? These crazy bones require the sacrifice of an arm and a leg. A T-show is moved and senses his brother. He truly feels sorry for him. He asks forgiveness from them and tells them they must accept his son. The leader has finally decided, and his eyes well up with tears as he remembers his memories with his family, especially Tanj, who was always there with him, supporting him and protecting him. He decides he will indeed accept San in his place, regardless of what the leaders say. He tells him, prepare yourself, son, to officially join the tribe. That night, San comes out and speaks with his aunt. She tells him, look, son, do you see those monuments there? Those are the bodies of tribe members who died defending the tribe. The military soul academy showed no one mercy, and all of this is because Tanj refused to hand over his wife. The wrong is not his wrong. The bottom line is, the wrong belongs to the evil soul academy. San gets furious and revenge fills his eyes. He vows to them he will become stronger and take revenge for the tribe, his mother and his father, especially his grandfather, who died of grief. The bottom line is he has sworn to restore the glory and honor to the tribe again. A new day begins and we return to the Hodian tribe. Leader Shio summons the elders and they are all asking what brought the son of the traitor here, constantly insulting him. Everyone objects to their joining the tribe, but the leader tries to convince them and shows them the soul bones and that this is an apology from the father. Despite that, all the stubborn elders refuse and say, we will accept in the end times the son of one of the beasts. Not only that, but she is the reason for the death of the greatest leader. San gets furious when he hears talk about his mother and goes crazy and tells them, you have crossed the boundaries. The bottom line is, I will break your faces and break the place over you. The leader at the last moment stops him and tells him, shame on you, dear. These are the elders. You need to be well-mannered, otherwise they will not accept you. The young man agrees but insists he will enter into a fight and challenge with the elders one day. The bottom line is, if I win, you will apologize for the insult you spoke about my mother. The elders also get angry and tell him, someone like you dare speak to us like this? We will raise you up. The challenge indeed begins between one of the elders and the leader, and everyone watches the challenge with eagerness and enthusiasm, wanting to see what San will do. The fight begins and the two summon the mighty iron hammer and attack each other with all ferocity and seriousness. The elder tries to find any opportunity and attacks San, but the young man is now completely unleashed. He makes a legendary rotation and with crazy speed dodges the attacks with all lightness. Not only that, but he delivers a devastating blow to him. Not only that, but he uses the devil's domain and the silver soul power. Anything you know, you can call it something incredible. This son of theirs manages to pin him and dominate him. Everyone in the hall is shocked. Can anyone use the power of two souls at the same time? That is a miracle. And his aunt indeed tells them the truth. San possesses the double military soul, meaning the bottom line is a legendary fighter unlike any other in the world. This is besides the formidable Devil's Domain he recently acquired. Everyone is in shock. In moments, San finishes off the Elder. Now our hero gets encouraged and asks to address the greatest leader. He indeed comes down to the arena and also prepares his weapon that he inherited from his father, who died because of our hero's father. Meaning the bottom line is, he carries the grudge and resentment. Even San goes crazy and tells him, if you lose, you will apologize for the insult to my mother. Not only that, but you will allow me to join my tribe. The two intend to break the world and will not spare each other. The two madmen fight on the iron chain. Any mistake, and it is the end. The leader Yanj tells him, I will not use all my power, but if you lose, I will break your distinctive soul, which is this formidable hammer, the thing that can prove you are from our tribe. The bottom line is, I will exile you. San agrees and prepares himself for the fight. He does not wait a moment and runs with his hammer and delivers a powerful blow. San goes crazy and attacks him using blue-silver magic to the point that the leader from the very start knows he must face him with full power. Here everyone takes the surprise when San uses the third soul bones. This is the third one and no one can believe their eyes. He used the first and they said legendary. He used the second two and they said what a miracle. He uses the third and no one can believe what is happening. He attacks with ferocity and seriousness and delivers crazy blows, giving them one boom after another. But the leader is not easy either. He summons a second hammer and shakes the world. The shock is that everyone notices he exceeded 40% of his power, meaning the bottom line is he broke the rules. Considered lost, but of course stays silent. He delivers a decisive and powerful blow to San. The young man flies and is thrown in a faraway direction to the point that his aunt is worried and flies after him. But San is 100% all right and finds himself perfectly fine. Not only that, but he gets up and returns to the arena on his own. The leader cannot believe he survived his decisive blow, and moreover is sitting calmly gathering his strength normally. The elders announce their defeat and decide they must begin the ceremonies of his joining the tribe. A young man like this, what a waste to lose him from our grasp. The leader begins to help San and extends energy to him to wake up. The moment he opens his eyes, he finds the leader apologizing to him for the insult to his mother. Not only that, but he also tells him, you are the only one who is able to make me use all my power. Not only that, but I could not even affect you. The bottom line is, you're a source of power and pride for us. He finishes his words and they enter the hall where his aunt and all the elders are gathered. They tell him, look, son, the bottom line is clearly and plainly, you are the exceptional and suitable person who can return our glory and gift to us. To do that, you have 3 missions ahead of you, and unfortunately, no one has succeeded in them until now. San tells them, just command me, and I will carry them out. The first mission is, you must reach the 80th level. San tells them easy and catchable. I'm approaching it. I'm at 60. He tells him the second mission is you must defeat a formidable soul master and dominate him. As for the third and final mission, it is that you must give a like and subscribe to the channel. If you do not do this, you will lose many things, including the love of people, respect, and appreciation. No one in the tribe will respect you. So look, you must subscribe and give a like to the channel. After that, possibly we can give you a fourth mission, which is for you to go to the soul chain in a period called the sad years. I expected from its name, it is clearly going to be a disaster. This is going to be an impossible mission for him. Even his aunt tells him, do we not feel we are asking the impossible from this poor young man? The greatest soul masters could not handle these missions. Not only that, but he is also required to complete them within 10 years, while a normal person would complete them in the range of 20 to 30 years. But the leader tells him when he officially completes these missions, he will announce him as the new leader of the Hotnian tribe, meaning he will become leader. At that, the young man does not wait a moment and completely agrees to the missions. He collects himself and comes out and has set a promise to restore the glory to the tribe once again and be a pride for them. He must become the next leader. At the same time, we return to the kingdom of Tiandu, and the crown prince is turning the world upside down after discovering the king was being secretly poisoned and suspects his brother the prince and asks the guards to search him. The young man is shocked and cannot absorb it and swallows the pills he had with him. Yes, dear viewer, just as you were suspicious, and I was suspicious, and it turns out he is indeed the traitor. At that same moment, the crown prince is meeting with the teacher and another official and telling him about what is happening and that the Soul Academy is planning a hellish scheme. The biggest proof is that they summoned all the soul masters. They know the information is from a trusted source, and from its students, it is impossible the matter is written. The crown prince listens and tells them he will act. But the disaster, and oh, what a disaster, is that they leave from here, and he calls someone from the Soul Academy and tells him to act quickly. It is clear the crown prince is also involved with the Soul Academy. We return to the Queen Dong. We have been away from her for a bit, but she is still keeping up with her plans, dear viewer. The crazy woman will stay crazy. She gathered all the soul masters from all the cities and tells them, look everyone, the bottom line is Helena is our heir, and together we will take over the Dolu continent and make everyone submit to us. At the same time, the long-awaited meeting finally comes between the Academy members. Our friends from Sherrick Academy and the whole team gather, and they recall their memories and the days of their training during the past 5 years. The teachers are shocked by the high levels the students have reached. Not only that, but they bet on another level, and that he is surely the one who managed to surpass them all. They ask them to demonstrate some of their abilities in front of the new students and amaze them. They indeed agree immediately. Remove the masks and get ready. And each of them starts to display their formidable power. But all of that is child's play and joking around. The star San joins them and enters with a fiery and mighty entrance. Joins them, and the real fight begins. The power on display. The young man breaks the place with his gift. Everyone is shocked by the power of the soul bones and his terrifying speed, not to mention the devil's domain that stops everyone and pins them. He manages to pin the Academy's dean. The team breaks the world, and the teachers can no longer resist and admit their defeat. The dean tells them they were too lenient, nothing more. Do not even think you defeated us like that. No experience from you at all. Everyone is happy and joking, and they feel they have finally returned again, and their memories are being renewed. But they feel the absence of Wu. They ask San and tell him it is impossible we celebrate, and our joy is complete without her. The bottom line is, continue your journey, and when you find her, we will be waiting for you in the Academy. Only then will we celebrate properly. And maybe our friend Oscar has also returned because we do not know where he is and why he disappeared. They indeed make the second promise that they will meet again and say goodbye to Sam with all love and sincerity. At the same time, Wu is in the forest and starts using the magic she absorbs from San to build homes and shelters for the weak animals. She decides to return to the peaceful forest to compensate for the destruction that happened because of the Queen's soldiers. At the same time, our hero San has also arrived in the forest and notices traces of Wu's magic. He cannot believe his eyes and feels joy and runs after any trace of her. At the same moment, she also at that moment senses San's trace. The two sense each other, and it is clear the meeting is only seconds away now. Unfortunately, a disaster happens at night when suddenly fighters from the Military Soul Academy attack the Yashim tribe, the tribe from which the student ninja descends. Those people cut down anyone in front of them and finish off their abilities. Fortunately, the leader, Ninja's father, can do the impossible and runs to Sherrick Academy and asks for help. When his daughter sees him, she cannot believe her eyes and cannot absorb the shock. They sit together, and the leader tells them what happened and blames this Soul Academy that has gone crazy and intends to finish off all the tribes. At that moment, the dean and teacher decide to go investigate the situation and the disaster that is happening. At the same time, the leader entrusts his daughter and tells her, "You are the only one. You are the only heir. Without you, the tribe has nothing. The most important thing is your safety. We must rebuild ourselves from scratch." He finishes his words and goes after the teachers. Ninja drowns in her tears, but Zoe stops with her and comforts her. Everyone gathers at the palace of the crazy evil queen, and three of them unite to fight the queen. Erlange and the dean and our teacher intend to set the world on fire around her, and the place breaks from their power. They attack her with all brutality, wanting to take revenge for everything. They want to pour out their feelings with powerful and formidable spells. But the queen, with just one blow, knocks all of them down in a moment. She also grabs Erlange and intends to kill her because she remembers her memories with the teacher when he did not reciprocate her feelings. But currently, he is about to die and worried about Erlange. Even though she loved him, yet he did not reciprocate her, and all his love was for Erlange alone. The queen goes crazy and tells him, "I now have no one who can stop me, and if you say anything until morning, I will kill her and be rid of her." But at the right moment, the dean intervenes and saves her. They collect themselves and decide to return to the academy and vow to the queen and the Soul Academy. At night, we return to Ninja, who has prepared a complete and comprehensive plan to save the tribe and rebuild it from scratch. A brave girl intending to treat the injured and fulfill the wishes of the individuals who died in the war. She is also intending to take the fiercest revenge. Fortunately, Zoe is with her and guides her and promises she will be with her and help her when the time comes. That is friendship. At the same time, our teacher and the leader of the Yashim tribe are in the palace of the Tiandu king, intending to inform the king and find a solution altogether to stand against the crazy queen. But the shock is they only find the crown prince, and he does not even allow them to meet the king. But fortunately, at the last moment, the king allows them and asks them to come in. They tell him everything that happened and say our tribes were wiped from existence with all boldness and brutality by the Military Soul Academy. The king cannot believe what he is hearing and believes the turn has come to them, and they are always provoking him. He issues a formal decision to begin the war and asks everyone to take up arms. But the problem they face is that most of the Soul Masters have been killed, and this requires them to recruit powerful Soul Masters and prepare them again. They need some new people to compensate for those who were lost. The bottom line is they need a well-designed plan to finish off the wicked queen and the academy. In another world, while the world is burning and the war is starting, San is in the forest, still searching for the love of his life. He uses his distinctive power and can see with it what is happening in the depths of the forest. He catches sight of Helena and her army moving with all madness and eliminating the beasts and souls there and searching for a specific target. San at that moment takes a lethal soul blow because of which he falls to the ground. Helena runs to him and wonders if he is the masked young man. At the same time, his beloved is worried and scared, especially after she senses San and that he has been seriously injured. We return to the palace where the teacher is still preparing a plan. But the disaster when the king receives news that the queen decided to rearrange many things in the history of the Dolu continent. The king collapses from exhaustion and shock. What does it mean she will erase all our history? Everyone in the palace gathers around the king and supports him. Then the crown prince decides to tell the teacher the truth and that the king has been poisoned for a period and they cannot find a treatment for him. From that moment, indeed, the unexpected happens. The king is already on the verge of dying. His power begins to leave him. He asks the teacher to accept being officially appointed as the imperial minister and also to lead the forces and prepare them for war. The crown prince, the moment he hears those two words, goes crazy and dies inside. It is very clear he is not satisfied with what is happening. How is it that someone I just saw a little while ago, you give him the position? The king alerts the crown prince not to occupy his mind because he is inexperienced, and any decision he makes must be consulted with the officials. At the same moment, the leader responsible for the treatment is watching him, feeling the crown prince has now turned traitor. The world will be turned upside down because of him. The leader goes to the secret vault immediately and is happy and celebrating that the crown prince did not take the tribe's soul. But in a moment he gets upset and complains of his worry to the prince, saying he is just a failure, and this is because he cannot make an antidote to save the king from certain death. Suddenly he gets a terrible idea and immediately remembers a specific person who can help him make the legendary antidote. We return to San, who wakes up and suddenly finds Helena in his face. She tells him what a coincidence you are, the light of my heart, I mean the forest. What brought you? San gets tense and remembers she does not know his true identity. Well, he was on a mission. The crazy girl is happy and tells him good because the queen is insisting on meeting you after all the talk about you. Suddenly, the queen's followers come close to him and they are suspicious of him. But fortunately, Huna tells them, do not worry. This young man is on my guarantee. I will tell you what, I guarantee him, and besides, the poor thing is our prisoner. So San pretends to be weak and a prisoner and submits to them and sits on the ground like the poor. At the same time, one of the officials takes him to Helena and tells her, what do you think since you trust this young man? Tell him to provide us with the greatest amount of information about the Hotian tribe. Only then will the queen regard us and allow his joining us. What do you think? And naive Helena believes and agrees to his words and leaves. She gets close to him and tells him, look, son of good people, I value you and everything. What do you think about coming with us and telling what you know and helping us in the investigation? In return, we will protect you and help you too. San understands their plan and tries to change the subject and tells her before anything the secret must be exchanged for a secret. The bottom line, he asks her what she is doing in the forest. She tells him, and they know they are searching for a powerful beast soul to be a source of energy, for the queen to rule the world. He is shocked and immediately knows they mean Wu. He tries to act quickly and cleverly and tells them, I sensed a powerful beast soul and will guide you to it. Everyone gathers around him, but the clever young man is risking it and deceiving them. The problem is they know he is lying and are intending to kill him. At the last moment, Wu senses him. Her voice begins appearing throughout the forest and she threatens them and tells them about her location. Everyone indeed runs toward her. She appears before them with all courage and attacks them with a mighty cave force. She and Titan break the ground and prevent anyone from getting close. Even Dami intervenes and comes out from the lake and attacks the powerful Soul Masters. But the shock when suddenly the disaster happens. Two of the Soul Masters unite. It seems they will attack with a lethal attack. Titan immediately asks Wu to run and escape. The girl tries to run and protect the forest, but the Soul Academy army tries to stop her. Here San appears and immediately not caring intervenes, binding them all and cutting through them with the formidable soul bones. Helena cannot absorb what is happening and gets the shock of her life when she breaks the mask and discovers he is San, her deadliest enemy. She enters a state of shock and tries to free herself from his formidable magic. But he does not wait a moment and delivers a devastating blow with the magical hammer and knocks her down in a moment, and she loses consciousness. At the same moment, San cannot believe his eyes and runs to Wu. An emotional and touching reunion happens between them. A love he has not seen again after all these years and met after all the training and struggle. San takes her and runs with her, but the Soul Academy will not let them be and runs after them, intending to stop them. San and Wu go crazy and fight in full harmony and power, knocking the fighters down one after another. San breaks with his hammer and she with its quickness and agility dominates them and cuts through them. They finish them and run again and scatter everywhere. She takes San to a secret cave called the Serpent Cave and tells him, "Do not worry. We are safe here now." They indeed rest and she treats his injuries. The two tell each other everything that passed. San tells her his mother's story and that the Soul Academy is the reason for her death, and he is planning revenge and must get her rights. They keep talking about everything that happened in terms of achievements and difficulties. Our romantic friend does not wait a moment and immediately gets down on one knee and proposes to Wu and tells her the bottom line is, "I do not want to be separated from you again. I want to complete my life with you. You are my life and my peace. I want you to be my family and my safety. So I am now formally proposing to you and asking for your hand in marriage. What do you say?" The girl cannot believe it and cannot absorb it, thinking she is dreaming. She is moved and tells him of course she agrees. But the world is not so easy from the very start. Suddenly, their happy moment is cut off by an attack from a huge spider beast attacking with all ferocity and seeing no one in front of it. The two run from it and feel there is no hope of facing it. They come out of the cave and San tries to push the beast away. He uses soul bones and magic, and all of this succeeded in making the beast back off for a moment and managing to protect the love of his life. But oh, the joy was short-lived. Suddenly, the fighters from the Soul Academy appear and corner them, intending to take them and hand them over to the queen. They attack them in a brutal and fiery way. But our heroes do not surrender. Each of them fights with all their strength. San keeps taking crushing and deadly blows, and they try to protect each other. But the Soul Master's attack is lethal, and they have gone completely crazy and will do the impossible to capture the girl. But who do they think they are dealing with? San understands their plan and takes his beloved and stops her soul power and throws her far away so no one grabs her or gets close to her. The Soul Academy will not be quiet, of course. They see Wu and are heading for her. But San is afraid someone will get close to or harm her. He starts using all the energy he has and attacks them with soul bones and magic and still cannot overcome them. He has reached the stage of sacrificing the life of his life for her. He uses the soul bone he took from his mother to protect his legs, and they end up being the sacrifice. Not only that, but he flies high and gives this bone to Wu so she can protect herself. The girl cannot believe what is happening. Literally, someone is dying in front of her. The Soul Academy still will not be quiet and attacks him with lethal power. At that moment, San decides he will protect her even if the price is his life. And that is what happens. The girl is shocked. The young man's heart stops and he dies just like that. Suddenly, the world breaks and ignites. The young man stands before them and tries in a crazy way. She sees this sight and goes completely crazy at him. She breaks the world and summons a formidable soul power that flips the place and burns it on them. The crazy girl decides to sacrifice her soul for San, who sacrificed for her. So who will live? She gets close to him and gives him her life and soul bones too. People? What is all this love? Even Helena cannot believe it and cries. The soul group decides to withdraw. She will die. What will they do with her afterward? The sad day ends like this. The next day, San wakes up and finds himself in the forest, and beside him is a flower, and beside them, an injured rabbit. The gorilla and the giant snake. Yes, move on. But he does not focus on them because he is devastated at losing his beloved. He holds the flower, which is the last remaining of her soul, and brings it close to the rabbit. Suddenly, the miracle happens. The rabbit wakes up bit by bit until finally it gets up. He immediately understands that her soul is still present. He promises to take revenge for Wu. "I am no longer easy. If I do not get her rights, I will finish off someone and set the Soul Academy on fire." He begins speaking with Titan and says the bottom line is, "I feel there is a way to bring her back. And if any of you knows it, better to tell me." They tell him there's only one way and that you accomplish some very difficult missions. The first is for you to become the great Soul Master, meaning the bottom line is become the greatest fighter in the world. The young man does not even think and says, "We will execute everything. Just tell me everything you know." They tell him he must find a very rare plant in the forest, and it is what will help her restore her body again. He shocks them and tells them he already has that plant. The only thing left is for him to become the great Soul Master. Dami starts telling him, but the matter is big. It will require you to sacrifice your entire life and power. And if you live, you will live as an ordinary human, without any power. He immediately agrees without thinking and decides to become the great Soul Master, meaning the bottom line is, he will acquire formidable power and reach a high level. San does not wait a moment and goes to the forest, knowing what is in it. Suddenly, he senses the beast that attacked him before, the giant spider. He goes crazy and gets furious and runs after it. Your eyes will not see anything but the light. He summons the lethal hammer and cuts the beast apart beneath him. pins it with his magic, and starts giving it powerful and fiery blows that finish it off. San brings out his claws and buries them in the beast and starts absorbing its energy. Immediately, his power grows. Not only that, but the armor that suddenly appears on him. San likes the situation and says it seems he will accomplish the mission soon. Then he will be able to save Wu. We return to the palace at Helena, who is seized tightly by the queen because she failed in the mission. She tells her, I will let you rearrange your thoughts and see your mistake. I am giving you a last chance to prove I truly deserve you. She leaves. The queen stays behind and the girl remembers her memories with San, whom she had fallen for and did not know his truth. A new day begins and the teacher prepares for war, training the soldiers and soul masters, and is done waiting for revenge. Of course, our Uncle Julunj is not happy with what is happening because he is plotting with the crown prince. At the same moment, the prince is upset about his father, the king, and tries to find a remedy. He sneaks to his room and tries to even see him from behind the guards. But suddenly, the crown prince drops in on him, summons the guards, and tells them to grab the traitor and execute him. He was trying to kill the king. The prince goes crazy and tells him, what are you saying? He uses his magic to escape, but the guards and crown prince manage to overpower him and knock him down. Fortunately, at that moment, the leader intervenes and takes him at the speed of lightning and saves him and runs him out of the palace so no one grabs him. He comes out to the market and suddenly meets San walking. He looks at him and tells him, I will be grateful. The clever one notices the guards and uses his lethal magic and binds them. Not only that, but also dominates them and disciplines them. At that moment, the leader managed to escape himself too, fortunately. But he immediately decides to go and meet San and tells him everything that is happening. Look, son. The bottom line is the Crown Prince is cooperating with the Soul Academy. These sons of theirs made a lethal and deadly poison and poisoned the king, and how he wishes it had stopped there. No, they are also intending to frame the poor prince who has nothing to do with anything. My conscience and loyalty tell me to help him. I decided to save the king, but until now I have not found an antidote. And take this shock too. The Soul Academy came out to the tribes and killed everyone there. Your teacher and Erlange are going crazy training soul masters and intending war and fighting and destruction. San hears everything that happened and goes crazy. When did all this happen and the Soul Academy came back? It is clearly intending their death. The leader does not understand him and tells him, what second? Was there a first? What happened to you? Our hero also cannot hold back and tells him about everything they did to the girl he loves who sacrificed her life so he could live. But I decided you are from the Soul Academy. The bottom line is no one will stop me. We return to the teacher who is training the Soul Masters and Jilinj enters and tells him, are you not feeling you are overdoing it a bit? These kids are few and will die from you. Stop what you are doing and report to the Crown Prince. Of course, the teacher tells him, pressure? What pressure, my dear? I am pampering them. I have not even put them under a quarter of the pressure. We are on the eve of war. You want me to spare the fighters? At that moment, our hero San enters and tells him, pressure what? These are a few exercises I do with my eyes closed. The thing is, those are soft kids, nothing more. Jilinj gets annoyed and tells him, you're done with your teacher, fine. Look, I will put you in a test like the ones they are going through. If you pass, they will continue training. If you fail, let them go, you and your teacher, and have mercy on us. San immediately agrees and tells him, but in return you will apologize to me and the teacher if you lose. The two agree and the commander begins by placing San in gravity magic. San walks on and does not care about the talk of these soft kids. Jilinj cannot believe it and raises the level and adds higher pressure. But who does he think he is dealing with? Our hero is a legend who keeps resisting and struggling and continues the training. The commander gives everything and raises it to the highest level. Of course, the shock happens, and the young man breaks the ground with his power. With all of this, he does not even get down on his knees and manages to succeed in the test after pressure on him and on our nerves. Jilinj stands before him, embarrassed, and tells him what I saw is greatness, and you have all my respect. He turns and immediately apologizes to the teacher and tells him, I did not know you were the trainer of this great student. Train these soft little kids, please. The teacher drops the matter and decides not to miss a second and continues his training. At night, our sorrowful hero returns and tells all his friends in the team what happened with his beloved. Everyone is going crazy and cannot believe the Soul Academy has gone this far. Everyone enters a state of grief and swears to take revenge on the Soul Academy. Of course, San has a hellish plan. He returns to his room and looks at the rabbit and remembers Wu and is moved. His heart breaks. Suddenly, his friends, one after another, knock on his door trying to comfort him and joke with him, but San completely refuses to come out of his room. Everyone gathers outside waiting for him. Suddenly, a piece of news arrives for Ninj that her tribe has a large number of injured and she must act. The girl does not wait a moment and runs, and immediately our hero and the whole team go with her. They arrive and are shocked by the number of injured and try to help whoever they can. But the sheer number is overwhelming. San is moved and comes to his limit. Then he sees the sight and remembers Wu's last moments and her sacrifices so he could live. The poor wretch sees her everywhere and is living on illusions. His team notices his behavior and goes completely crazy at him. At night, they all gather and he tells them, "Do not worry. I am not crazy or anything. The matter is, she appears to me and gives me power and advice so I can continue my path." San sits and encourages them and reminds them of the fierce revenge from the Soul Academy again. The next day, our hero notices his power has increased and the soul bones of hers have reached a higher level. He has acquired an iron armor from the last time. He comes out and runs to his teacher and tells him everything and shows him the formidable soul bones. Immediately, the teacher is shocked and amazed at what he is seeing. He says the bottom line is what you have is called fusion bones, meaning a miracle with which you can break the world. San is happy and feels he has already become stronger and does not see what is in front of him. But the teacher reminds him and tells him, "Son, do not forget that what you are doing now is not just revenge. It is also to restore peace to the Dolu continent." San understands his words and tells him, "Do not worry." He also decides to tell him about the crown prince's betrayal and the story that happened in the palace and that he learned from the leader. The teacher, of course, had a feeling and tells him, "I never felt comfortable about that crown prince from the start." Suddenly, San gets an idea and tells him, "I want to establish my own tribe and train them myself to participate in this war." The teacher, of course, takes the shock and tells him, "But what about the Hodian tribe you're already from?" San tells him, "I will deal with it regardless. I have 3 missions to execute to return to them again." Indeed, the young man does not wait a moment and goes to inform his team of his crazy idea. He announces that he is going to form a tribe called Tanj Klein. Everyone is happy for him and gets excited about his idea and suggests helping him. But he politely refuses and tells them, "I will depend on myself to become stronger. And if you want to join, there is no problem." Suddenly, the young man senses a strange person and ends his meeting with the team and runs after this person. San discovers this person is none other than Oscar. The two are shocked and sit together talking for a bit. "Finally, you appeared, Oscar. Where have you been since the beginning of the first part?" Oscar tells him he is afraid to return to Ninj because he could not protect her tribe and does not know how. San tells him, "Get over this nonsense. What would you do if you were in her place?" San tells him everything that happened to him. Oscar is shocked and does not believe him and cannot absorb what he said. They finish the conversation and decide to return to the academy again so Oscar can meet the team. There, the shock comes when Ninja appears with her father, the leader, and is shocked to find Oscar in front of her. She runs to him and they experience their love story. The leader takes San and tells him, "Get away from the lovebird, son. We have an important matter between us." He starts creating a domain so no one among them can see or hear what they are saying. The leader, of course, is amazed by his formidable power, but San tells him the bottom line is, "I asked to see you because I want to propose a strong deal between us. I am already going to have my tribe and intend first to help the Yashim tribe. The bottom line is, I want to propose to you something. I will make secret weapons for your tribe, and you will break the world." Azane is shocked and heated by his idea, and agrees, of course. At that moment, Oscar and Ninja are moved and tell each other everything that happened in the past years. They finish their words and San and the leader go. Oscar immediately decides not to miss the opportunity. He goes to the leader and tells him, "I want your daughter, and I'm buying her, and on the matter of war, I can protect her. What do you think?" The leader tells him, "I have one condition. You will fight my right arm. If you win, my daughter is from your right arm to your left arm." Indeed, the time comes to prove his power and love for Ninj. A mighty battle begins between them. The two are powerful in a formidable way, but Oscar, with all lightness and calm, manages to sustain the crushing blows for the right arm. Suddenly, 2 copies emerge from him with his distinctive magic. He manages to leave him and dominate him at the last moment, and delivers a powerful blow that knocks him down. The leader finally acknowledges him and feels his power and his love for his daughter. He agrees to him and offers for him to join the tribe again. But Oscar refuses and simply tells them he will join his friend and beloved's tribe, San's tribe, Tanj Klein. With that, we have the first member of the tribe, and it is clear they intend to break the world and build a powerful tribe. Azane agrees and tells him, "I now respect you, and you have earned my trust, and I trust you to protect my daughter." At that moment, the dean appears and tells San there is someone waiting for him in the office. The young man indeed goes and is shocked when he sees Prince Binge greeting him and telling him, "I knew you from back then, when you were in the Moon Wing Garden. Your power was formidable and distinctive. At that point, I knew you are the legendary student San. The bottom line is, I came with a request. I want you to take these pills to the king in the hope that they might save him." San takes them, but knows they will not have any effect because the poison in the king's body is very powerful. The young man tells him, "Do not worry. I will act and help you in my own way." It is clear he intends to make the antidote himself. A new day begins, and San goes to his aunt and tells her the bottom line is, "I will tell you what is on my mind. I intend to form a tribe. Besides the revenge I want to carry out against the Soul Academy, I thought to ask if you know any information or anything that will help me." His aunt tells him there is one thing and nothing else. You must earn the recognition of the 4 distinguished tribes. She starts telling him about the power of each tribe among them, and that he must earn their trust so they are not against him in the war. He immediately makes a plan to get them on his side, and immediately goes to the palace of the most powerful tribe among them, the blacksmith's tribe. He meets their leader Tan, who the moment he knows San is the son of their teacher goes crazy and tells him, "Where have you been all this time? Ask, and we are under your command." The young man does not wait a moment and asks him to support his new tribe and explains the whole story to him. In the end, the leader agrees with full joy. San takes advantage of the opportunity and asks him to make him some weapons like the ones he already has. The leader likes the weapons but refuses and tells him, "I have already sworn off this, and that is because the queen exploited us and I feel guilty, and since then, I stopped making weapons." San returns and he and his team try to find a plan to make the leader agree. They try with him, but he refuses completely, despite his attraction to these weapons and his own desire to make similar ones. A new day begins, and he tells the leader, "I have a second deal with the Yashim tribe. What do you think about coming with us and participating yourself?" Indeed, the leader goes to the Yashim tribe. The moment he enters, he is shocked by the number of injured persons. San says, "All I ask of you is to help them and make prosthetic limbs to help them continue their lives." The leader does not hesitate for a second, and his heart softens and agrees. He also agrees to make weapons to help them in the war. The bottom line is there is nothing in front of San except to convince the rest of the tribes, and that is the hardest mission. We go to the following day, and they go to the city and make a plan to meet the second tribe and convince them to support them. Everyone is enthusiastic and excited on this journey, and it is clear new surprises await them on their way. Indeed, the moment they arrive, they go to the tribe's palace. Tan tells them, "Do not worry. The leader and I are actually lifelong friends." They go and knock on the tribe leader's door, and they immediately let them in. He tells them, "See, I told you, heavy connections." He does not even finish 2 seconds, and suddenly, the leader appears and is happy to see Tan, his lifelong friend. But suddenly he is shocked when he learns our hero San introduced himself as Tange's son. The man gets angry and shakes the world and tells him, "Because of the Hotian tribe we suffered. We were scorned. Go away from here instead of me sending you back." Leader Tan tries to calm things down, but to no avail. Here, San's power appears and proves to all of them that he can protect them. A person up to the responsibility, a person who can be relied upon. The leader says the bottom line is, "You must fight me. Only then will I think about acknowledging you and your abilities separate from your father." They immediately go to the fighting arena. The two start with powerful and devastating attacks, relying on their agility and flexibility. San decides to fight more seriously and tells the leader, "I am now going to use my true power and I will not spare you." San summons his lethal hammer and soul bones. The leader tells him, "Fine, I will acknowledge you and let you go this time. Not because I am weak or anything." San gets encouraged and offers for him to support his new tribe and join them. Leader Neo tells him, "Are you crazy? You yourself said a new tribe. How do I trust you?" San and Leader Tan try to convince him, but to no avail. The man is very stubborn and difficult. At that moment, suddenly news arrives for the leader that Helena and her gang from the academy are breaking the world. Indeed, they enter the palace. But Sharek's team has his plan and is ready. But before the fight begins, one of Helena's followers tells the tribe the bottom line is, they want to join us and support us, and do not be reckless and join another tribe. Leader Neo gets annoyed at them and immediately refuses their offer. San tells Helena, "Collect yourself and your group and leave. The bottom line is, since you are stubborn, what do you think we fight? If you lose, you promise me you will leave and not come back to the tribe again." Helena agrees, and a powerful and mighty fight begins between them. The girl brings out her weapons and attacks him with all ferocity. But San uses his distinctive magic and manages to stop her. The two deflect each other and break the world. At that moment, Helena is resentful of him because he deceived her throughout the past period, and her heart was fluttering for him. In a moment of distraction, San manages to defeat her and stop her. She tells him, "Fine. As I promised you, I will leave them." She indeed collects herself and her group and comes out of the palace. San returns to the leader and tells him, "Well, what do you think now after what you saw? The two of us have one enemy. We must unite to stop them." The leader, after many attempts and touching words, manages to be convinced and agrees to cooperate with San. Afterward, they collect themselves and go to the third tribe. Without preamble, the leader agrees, of course, because San's father and hero was a 10-year support and pillar for the third tribe. The leader tells him, "I will not send you back angry. The bottom line is, I decided to support you and join you, but with one condition, that you convince the other tribe, and then I will guarantee you and join you too." At night, the leader goes to San and gives him a special gift, a rare and medicinal herb. The young man is shocked by him and refuses, and tells him, "I cannot accept a formidable herb like this." But the leader will not let him go and insists he take it. San accepts it and thinks about what to do with it. A new day begins, and Uncle San gets the shock of his life in the morning after finding the rabbit that has Wu's soul full and happy after eating the rare herb. Wu's soul tells him, "Forgive me and erase me." It is clear the rabbit was just hungry. San leaves and thinks what he will tell the leader now after he gave him a rare herb and the rabbit ate it. Suddenly, they summon him and tell him the leader of the other tribe is missing and no one can find him. Everyone runs to search for him. Fortunately, San and Oscar find him. He is at the mountain standing and waiting for a rare magical herb to open because he needs it. San tells him, "Shame on you. I will fix things for you. Do not worry." The young man indeed uses his formidable domain magic and manages to get him the herb, and not only that, but already open, meaning you will not find better than this. The leader cannot believe it and asks how it came to be and when and where. He collects himself and tells him, "I will do whatever you wish. Just ask." San tells him, "I do not want requests or anything. The bottom line is, I want you to join my new tribe." He tells him the story and what is in it. Of course, like all the previous ones, Yanj tells him, "You have nothing in front of you except facing me. Only then will I say whether you truly deserve my approval or not." The young man does not wait a moment and attacks the leader without mercy. The two enter a legendary epic mighty battle and cut each other with weapons. The leader brings out his lethal spear and delivers powerful blows to San. The two go crazy and break the place, but San takes a powerful blow and gets injured. At the last moment, Wu appears again and shields him. The leader is shocked and cannot believe his eyes. The girl attacks the leader and cuts him and dominates him. He falls to the ground defeated. Then everyone runs to the leader, and San reassures them. Fortunately, the tribe's leader is fine, still alive. But he acknowledges San and decides to join him. It is clear the beginning of war is near, and now all four tribes are on San's side. The next day, everyone takes the shock when San wakes up and finds Wu beside him. They do not understand when she returned and how, but she is not speaking. He tells the team and tells them that because of the rare herb she managed to summon her body, but her consciousness is not present, meaning she will not be able to speak. She can only be seen. I am the only one who can understand her and communicate with her. The whole team is happy and cannot believe she is right there in front of them. San decides to continue his plan and have her recover her consciousness and soul power immediately. The next day, San begins his journey to start the revenge plan. He summons all the fighters and followers in the formation of his new tribe, Tanj Klein. Our friend is now a tribe father and no longer sees anyone in front of him. He sits with full confidence as the tribe's leader. Not only that, but he assigns positions to his friends and the four leaders, each being responsible for a specific field so they enter the war without lacking anything. Not only that, but he also sets the rules and tells them do not kill soul beasts or weak animals. He finishes his words, and the whole group rises and declares its loyalty to leader San. And with that, it can be officially announced that the force of the great Tanj Klein tribe under San's leadership and the four leaders. But the surprise when San speaks privately with the leader of the destruction tribe, Yanj, and takes him aside and presents him with the poison pills the king was taking. He tells him, "With your formidable skills, I want you to make an antidote against this poison." He refuses to tell him any other details. The leader indeed agrees to San's request. After the meeting ends, San returns to the palace and there suddenly meets his teacher who tells him, "Take this seal. It is the only thing that can protect you from any disaster. You can even stand up against the military soul academy. The most important thing is to trust yourself and not worry about anything. Only then will you be able to defeat the academy." San indeed takes the seal and feels pride and power. They finish their conversation, and the young man goes with his group to the forest where they discuss a way to make a very large number of weapons. The bottom line is, they need to go back to the blacksmith city to do everything they need. When they first arrive, they get a double shock when they see a large group of children and elderly people working. It is clearly something wrong happening in the place. In less than 2 minutes, the leader notices some young men trying to subdue people with worn-out armor. Of course, since Uncle knows the subject, he goes and exposes them, wiping the floor with their dignity. Even some fighters from the Soul Academy thought they would intervene, but they were humiliated before everyone and got the shock of their lives after knowing they were in front of the leader. The leader also finds a student from his old days and takes him and says, "Bring me to Teacher Kluo. Let us talk with him for a bit. This is the man who will make the weapons together, the expert and chief of the blacksmiths." The man is surprised when he sees the leader and tells him, "What brought you, my dear friend?" It is clear there is a plan and a big matter behind you. But the shock when the leader starts introducing him to San and says, "This is my leader." Of course, he does not believe him, but San starts convincing him and tells him these weapons in front of him are all made by him. The leader Kluo is surprised, and San begins convincing him and telling him all the secrets and tells him all of this compared to me is just child's play. There are still more formidable weapons. The leader starts liking him, and the teacher is even more amazed. "Consider this borrowed from your right arm to your left arm. I will do something great for you that will break the world and set fire to the military soul academy. That is my promise to you. Do not worry. The following day, the whole team gathers and hear the shock when the leader of a tribe appears, and his condition is critical and he is dying. San runs to him and saves him. He brings in the leader Yanj to treat him, but the man is already struggling with death. He gives them hints about everything, and that Prince Binge is imprisoned, and in the hands of the crown, Prince being tortured. San will not be quiet and promises to rescue him. He distributes the tasks to the team and is now completely done with the Soul Academy and its hellish plan. At that same moment, the prince is being humiliated, imprisoned. The crown prince tells him, I will make your death meaningful. The bottom line is, I want you to come out and confess before everyone that you are responsible for what is happening to the king. The young man is shocked and cannot believe it. The moment he comes out, the crown prince tries to act, and with his intelligence and skills, manages to deceive the guards and escape. He goes to check on the king, and his condition is very difficult, and there is no hope of him living. He hides him with his magical power, but only for 2 hours to save him. He runs outside the palace, and suddenly the crown prince and guards appear. He tries to attack them and stand up to them, but he cannot handle them. The crown prince is now intending to imprison him again and finish him off. Suddenly, the legendary team descends and breaks the arena with San's lethal hammer, saving the prince and attacking the guards. Not only that, but suddenly one of the crown prince's followers appears and shields him. It is clear he is powerful. San shows him no mercy and breaks the world, using the dangerous silver magic and binding all of them. The whole team attacks with its lethal abilities and spares not one of them. It is clear the war has begun. Sherak Academy is against the Soul Academy. Everyone attacks each other and sets the world on fire. The teacher and everyone intend to spare them nothing. At the same time, San at the palace is in a state of shock after the crown prince suddenly decides to use all his power and reveal his truth. The world is turned upside down again. Suddenly, the crown prince transforms and a formidable and magnificent energy appears around him. No one can believe what is happening. The crown prince has transformed into his true self. Suddenly, a beautiful and powerful girl appears and introduces herself and says she is the first queen of the Soul Academy and her name is Ran. This was not in the calculations. She also has a plan and tries to convince San to join her and end the war. But the young man at that moment decides to deceive her and speak with her all, to save his team that is in a state of exhaustion and collapse on the verge of defeat. He goes with her into her domain. The two enter into a discussion. Rand tries to convince him to join her and tells him, tell me what you want, and I will fulfill it, as long as you're on my side. San goes along with her in conversation and tells her, I want to take revenge for my beloved Wu and destroy the Soul Academy. Of course, Rand cannot stand him and tells him, stop being stupid. She attacks with formidable and magnificent power, but San cannot stand up to her or use his soul power in her domain. Our friend right now is literally an ordinary human. He can barely use the legendary hammer. Ran also summons her legendary formidable sword and attacks San and tells him, you are responsible for everything that is happening now. I gave you a chance and you wasted it. The sword pierces the young man's body and he falls in that instant injured and cannot move. But suddenly he senses Wu helping him and encouraging him to get up and act and save his team from certain death. At the same moment, Sherek's team manages to recover again. They also decide to execute their plan. Suddenly, they unite with their power. We go to San, who shocks everyone and manages to get strong and stand up in her domain. He stands and uses the hammer with full force and boosts it with the greatest amount of energy and attacks Ran with all madness. She cannot deflect him with her sword as before and takes a devastating and lethal blow that knocks her to the ground and makes the legendary domain dissipate in seconds. San then meets his team and sees their difficult condition. He fights on and wants to get up and do something and finish Ran off and rest. But the disaster is that his soul power dissipated with the domain. Ran tells him those are the punishments for those who get close to me. She heads toward him intending to finish him off. No one in the team can move or do anything. Suddenly the earth breaks and soul rings appear around San. It is clear our friend Wu has turned the scales. Her soul comes out of the rings. Not only that, but her consciousness and body also reunite again. She has finally returned and tells them rest. From here onward, I am the one who will deal with Ran and set fire to her. You all just need to watch. No one can believe what is happening. It is clear an epic fiery battle will happen between them. She indeed shields San and flies high and attacks Ran with formidable power. Her skills and flexibility allow her to dominate her enemy and deliver blows to her and knock her down to the ground. Ran tries to recover and get up and fight, but she is completely helpless, especially after Sherek's team rises to support her. Not only that, but two of the leaders suddenly appear. Ran decides to withdraw and tells them, I will let you go this time, but this is not weakness from me. The upcoming fight I will show you no mercy. At the same moment, a large amount of energy is exhausted, and she disappears again to rest. We return to the teacher who has formed an elite team with the dean and is against Holina and her powerful team. The two attack a formidable ball and break the place. Helena intends to finish them off and restore pride to her academy. She unites with a young man named She and attacks the teacher with all their power. The man is helpless before them and tries to resist and use his fighting soul. He manages to stand up to them, but for a short period. The teacher collapses and is no longer able to resist. The leader Ninja tries to help him and extends energy to him. Here Erlange and the dean both help him and save them. Everyone cooperates and unites. They are also a formidable force and attack Helena and knock her down in devastation. At the same moment, San and his team arrive and tells them what happened, and the best thing is for them to withdraw since Ran herself withdrew. The girl immediately withdraws with her team and goes to Ran, who is injured, and tells her they must plan a new scheme because she did not expect San's formidable power. At the same time, the leader Yanj goes and gives the antidote to the king. Everyone immediately goes to his room and they revive the king. After he wakes up, he reassures everyone, but discovers he does not have much time left. Only 3 years. He looks around and thinks about who to give the rule to. He learned everything that happened in his absence from betrayal and loyalty and war. Not only that, but he asks everyone to leave except the ninja tribe leader. At that moment, the prince gets angry and upset, but he goes out. It is clear he is making a difficult request from him. He tells him, "I want you with your distinctive ability to restore my power and youth, even if 8 years of my life are left." And indeed, after this, he will have only 6 months left to live and take revenge on the Soul Academy. The leader agrees and uses his magic on him, and the shock is the king returns to his youth and formidable power. He summons everyone in his palace and immediately gathers the soldiers and officially announces the beginning of the war against the Soul Academy. He will show them no mercy and wants to wipe them from existence. They finish the meeting and San is shocked when he discovers a large number of his tribe members were killed. He returns to the palace and tells the king what happened with the rest of his tribe. The king tells him, "Do not worry about it. It is a war and there are losses. The bottom line is, ask and I will support you, Sam." In the palace of the Soul Academy, we all take the shock when we learn that Ran is actually the queen's daughter and she changed her appearance with an angel's armor like a mask, and all of this to carry out a secret mission and take the crown prince's place to control the Tiandu tribe. The girl is clearly following in her mother's footsteps and intending to betray everyone and take the rule for herself alone. We go to San, who has decided to take Wu and return to his original tribe to tell them he formed a new tribe. His aunt, the moment she sees Wu, is shocked but calmly begins to get to know her. Everyone is surprised when they learn he established a new tribe called Tanj Klein. San tries to calm them down and tells them this does not mean he will abandon the tribe. "No, I do all of this for your sake." San displays the condition he fulfilled of the 3 conditions and shows them 2 years in his soul rings from the sad period, meaning this young man fulfilled one of the hardest conditions. No one believes him and they immediately respect him and do not get angry with him and decide to trust him. They tell him he is still a member of their tribe at any time he needs anything he should ask them. San thanks them and afterward comes out to the leader and asks him to cooperate with him and help in making the secret weapons that are planned. He knows the tribe is good at weapon making and he inherited this from his father. The leader agrees, of course, and fully supports him in his war against the military Soul Academy. Afterward, Uncle San takes him and begins speaking with him and tells him some things he does not know. He tells him the queen has a father named Shan, and this is considered the most powerful person in the kingdom. The only person who reached his level was your grandfather, so you should be careful that if you manage to defeat Ran or defeat the queen, there is a big head behind them named Xian. That is the difficult battle you will face in your life. You must be stronger than him to defeat him. He also tells him he must go train in another place known for real danger besides the lethal and dangerous sea beasts that exist on the island. Immediately, without words, San takes him and they decide to go to their next stop. He goes to his father to say hello. They reach the strange place and find him with the plant containing his mother's soul. San decides to introduce him to them and tells them she is the girl he loves and wants to complete his life with her. The father, of course, is happy for his son and blesses him. Suddenly, San brings out a gift and presents it to his father, giving him prosthetic limbs instead of the ones he lost. The father is moved and decides to make him happy too. He holds a modest wedding ceremony and blesses them on their love. The two remember their memories together and feel their love has finally won. The king, when he learns San got married, decides to summon him and presents him with a very big position, appointing him as the crown prince's teacher. He gives him a legendary soul instrument and tells him it will help in training. It is clearly a big matter. The young man, the moment he returns, feels a great soul energy coming from the instrument to the point that he cannot withstand it and loses consciousness, him and Wu. And this instrument gave him a new title, King of the Oceans, by possessing the soul instrument. The team starts gathering to begin their journey and go to the island and train there. Everyone prepares for the dangerous journey. The teacher says goodbye to them and is worried for them from the danger of the journey. The 8 move on their path holding each other's hands with all love and courage to become stronger and prepare for the great war that will happen. But to train on the island, they must first pass tests. The one responsible for the place transfers them all to a strange and quiet place where each member of the team will be judged based on their personality and achievements, and from there each person's missions will be determined to complete the test. Mumby starts taking 7 missions with full merit, and this is a legendary and powerful number. The rest of the group follows from there. But everything changes when Ninja with her power and bravery gets a rank in missions higher than them. Each of them has a mark printed on their forehead, and if they do not complete the missions in a set time, they will die. The turn comes for San and his beloved to test their luck and discover the extent of their power in missions. Suddenly, a formidable power appears and takes everyone out of the place. The atmosphere changes, but it is a terrible storm that will happen. All of this from nowhere suddenly. She is from the followers of the King of the Ocean and tells them this is the first time she sees this situation and that San's formidable power cannot be assigned a test or judged. Everyone is shocked and a golden mark appears on his forehead as if the King of the Ocean himself is there. The man also has a legendary instrument, in case you forgot the one the king gave him. The king's follower announces them as very important guests on the island. Everyone respects them, especially when the follower discovers he is the greatest and most legendary grandchild of Sheen, the greatest and most legendary leader from the Hotian tribe, the man who once trained here. The man whose level allowed him to reach the power of the evil queen's father, meaning the bottom line is, San is a legend, and there is a big mystery behind him. Our friends decide to explore the island until they discover the rest of the secrets. At the same time in the palace, Ran is preparing herself and her soul to take revenge on the queen. It is clear she also carries a grudge against her because she never treated her as her daughter but as a combat tool. Her greatest grandfather, Chian, is on her side. It is clear a lethal war will happen between San and his team, and the Seoul Academy and Ran. At the same time, our team all hold hands before starting their missions and walk with confident steps toward the unknown. No one can stop them with their power and the power of love in their hearts. And with that, the first season ends. Season 2 is still at the door and will be released soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to receive the latest videos.